Hello, everyone. Welcome back to The Film is Okie Dokie. My name is CJ. It's all good. Thank you so much for joining us this week, as you do every week. This is the show where we sit down and we watch a movie and we talk about the movie, but we also do other stuff like have guests and play games and complain about other things. So, yeah. That's the show.
Who is we?
Well, joining me as always, Mr. Twitch Front Page.
Oh, there I am.
Yeah,
wow.
it's
I didn't know if I
you.
was going to get introed today. I thought that it was a CJ solo pod that I was going to get to listen to.
No.
Oh, I think we need a
through my
CJ solo
shit.
pod episode.
You think
I
we
don't
need
know
a
if-
CJ solo pod episode?
Yeah. I think that would be really excellent. Maybe we have you solo pod. I mean, we could have had you solo pod Killer Bean Forever, you know?
Yeah.
We do have a couple other outstanding debts we have to check in on.
So
Maybe you could solo pod one of those.
That'd be funny. We talked about that and how interesting that would be. So today is the 31st
Yes.
of January.
Yes.
So I was supposed to watch World of Worlds
Yes.
with Ice Cube
Uh-huh.
and Home Sweet Home Alone.
Yes.
So I have watched Home Sweet Home Alone.
Nice.
We'll talk about that in the post show.
Oh, really? You don't want to go... You want to sit on Home Sweet Home Alone?
Well, I'm worried that we have too much in the pre-show and then it'll be like a 2.5 hour recording session. And I have not watched World of Worlds, but I have today.
You have today.
So
And if you don't watch it today, 3 additional movie debts.
Yes, and honestly, I need to get out of debt. It's a theme. It's a theme for this year to get out of debt. But yeah, I need to get out of debt. That having been said, yeah. How have you been, you Mr. Front Page?
I'm good. I would appreciate it if you stopped calling me that, though.
No,
I'm good. Good. Been busy. I mean, can't complain. Just trying to stay warm because it's been so cold. How about you, CJ?
Yeah, it has been single digits here every day.
Same. I think the last time it was above 30 was like almost a month ago.
We have had 2 weeks of single digits, so
Yeah.
I think next week it's going to get a little warmer. There was this weird snow hurricane that they were talking about. It's going to happen this weekend when we're recording. And it just, thankfully, it's going to miss us. We're going to get like 3 inches, but it was going to be another 20 inches. If it like came up and hit New York full blast.
And you're not sure you can take another 20 inches.
I don't think I can deal with 4 feet of snow, no.
Oh, that's
Where is
not
it supposed
the
to
inches
go?
I was talking about.
I know,
Anyway.
I know.
So, Home Sweet Home Alone post-show, War of the Worlds post-show.
Yep.
What else have you got for me, CJ? I understand you have a story. You've been
I do.
itching to tell me.
I have. I've been saving it. So have I told you anything about my struggles to get my prescriptions filled?
Yeah, I think you've talked a little bit about them on the show, about how you told a story, I think, on the episode with Brian Otto. I think it was the one where the day when you went and the guy was asking for money out front. I think you talked a bit about how you had issues with your prescriptions getting filled and your prescription keeps changing.
Yeah. So if you haven't listened to that episode, go listen to it. It's a great episode. But just I'll get us to that point really quick. They changed one of my medications, which I take for my migraines, and this is what I call the migraine killer. You take this when you feel a headache or a migraine coming on, specifically a migraine for me, and in 15 minutes it's done. Tommy, you know me very well. I think I would say we're very close, right?
I know you well enough. I keep you at an arm's reach now.
Wow. I was actually listening to a podcast the other day, and the person was joking that someone had called him his best friend at an event that he went to, and he's like, wow, that's a low bar. You're not even in my top 50. And I was dying. And then I was like, I know that I've called you one of my best friends. And I was like, God damn, wouldn't it be really funny if I'm not even in the top 25?
You're up there.
Would you say the words?
What words?
Am I one
CJ,
of your best
you're
friends?
in my top 100.
Wow. Damn.
No, CJ, of course you're one of my best friends. I've only said as such 12.5 times on this podcast.
I know. It's
Jeez,
crazy, though.
Really milking
I thought
it.
that was really funny.
Really milking it.
I know. I thought that was really funny, though. The idea of, like, someone coming up to you and be like, this is my best friend. And it's like, oh, really?
Oh, thank you.
Yeah. Oh, God. Who the fuck was that? Anyway. So you know that I have a migraine basically every day.
Yes.
When I was at your house visiting, I think on 2 separate occasions, I had to, like, go away for, like, 10, 15 minutes. After taking my medication. Because I had a migraine. And I'm like, these are like, I lose vision. I have like total sensitivity to light. Like vertigo, awful. So, needless to say, they are necessary, right? They are required. I also take a daily thing, which is supposed to help with like the overall like function of my brain to cut back on them.
It's your Prevagen.
I don't know what that is.
Prevagen? It's the meds that old people take to help with their memory.
Oh, okay, yeah. Well, fuck, I'm not taking that. I don't remember shit. So they changed the classification of this, and I was stuck in a 3-way fight between the insurance company, the pharmacy, and the doctor's office. The doctor's office wouldn't send an electronic controlled substance prescription to the pharmacy. The pharmacy kept trying to order a version of it, which is not a controlled substance. But they wouldn't, the Walgreens corporate wouldn't allow them to order it. They kept sending them the controlled substance version. And the insurance company wouldn't cover the controlled substance version. So I was going to have to pay $300 for it. And I was really mad at the machine here. So I'm calling the doctor's office every day because the first brick in the wall, as far as I can understand, is I have to get the doctor to send over a fucking prescription. So they no longer have an answering machine unless you call after hours. So I called 3 times a day, every day. Last Thursday, last Friday, they closed at 4. I called 6 times. Then I got the answering machine because they closed at 4. I called not Monday because of the snowstorm, Tuesday, and Wednesday. On Tuesday night, I called at 4 o'clock. They closed at 5 on Tuesdays. And I said, I need this. This is the situation. I need a new prescription. Oh, okay. Let me go get the nurse. So I get put on hold. They hang up on me. I call back. I wait another 15 minutes. They pick up. Oh, the nurse is in with the doctor, but she's going to call you back. Okay.
What
the
are
nurse
they
never
doing,
called me back.
this nurse and doctor?
I don't know. So they never called me back. So I'm like, oh my God. So, by the way, the added frustration here, all of these, the pharmacy is a mile from my house. The doctor's office is a mile from my house. And a block separates the doctor's office from the pharmacy. So all these things are in very close proximity. So I go to the doctor's office and I explain the situation to the person at the front desk. And she looks at me like I'm fucking stupid. She looks at me like I'm Simple Jack. And I'm like, okay. So she looks up the notes and then her whole face changes and she's like, okay, there are 9 notes in here that you've called. And your pharmacy has called. Okay. I am going to go to the doctor as soon as he's done with this patient. I'm writing it down. He will send this over today. as soon as he's done with this patient, we're going to do this. And I said, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. So I left. I go back to my house, again, only a mile away, and I get an email from Walgreens saying, hey, we've got your prescription, but your insurance won't cover it. So it's going to be $300. So now I'm at the finish line. I'm getting my prescription. So I call the insurance company. The insurance company, it's really difficult to get to the point where you can talk to somebody about a prescription. Like, it's like the last menu item in a really long phone tree.
Mm-hmm.
But I get to the end, and the lady goes, okay, so I know what the problem is. And I said, what's the problem? I am allowed to take this 5 times a day, okay? Or 4 times a day. I'm trying to remember the math on this. 5 times a day. A dose is 2 pills, okay? So that means I can take 10 pills a day. You following with me so far?
Yes, 10 pills a day, max.
Yeah. I get 90 at a clip.
Okay.
Which means it is a 9-day supply.
Max. Sorry.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Minimum.
So I am technically able to order a new prescription every 9 days. I don't use that much because some days I don't have a migraine that needs it. Some days I just do like ibuprofen. Sometimes I have 2 migraines a day. Sometimes I have 1. And it doesn't usually, it doesn't usually mean that I need I go through it in 9 days. Usually it's a couple months. But if you don't have it, you really need it. So I was talking to her and she says, so the insurance company won't pay for it unless they put in that it's an 11-day supply or more. I said, what? She said, yeah, this is literally just the pharmacy tech put in the wrong day supply. Okay. So she calls Walgreens. I got that sorted out in like 5 minutes with her. She was on hold with Walgreens for half an hour because Walgreens wouldn't answer. So I got in my car.
Walgreens, my lord, that's too real.
So I got in my car. I drove to the pharmacy. I waited in line. I waited for the insurance agent to get off of hold. And I said, hi, this is my insurance company. Who's that ringing? That's her. Answer the phone. I handed the person at the counter the phone. My phone, my cell phone. And then they said, okay, what? Let me get the pharmacist. Pharmacist, hi. Okay, what does it need to be? Okay, I'm going to set it to be a 15-day supply. She puts it in. It immediately goes through my insurance. They immediately cover it. And instead of $300, it's $28, which is still a lot, but it's not nearly as much as $300. And I'm like, okay, that's what it should be. All right, come back in an hour and a half. We'll have it. Came back, an hour and a half. They had it. This took me 11 days to get that figured out.
That's the amount of time that Walgreens needs a prescription to last for to fill it.
I know! Isn't that fucking dumb?
Don't you just love the system?
I got so mad at the system. But along the way, I found the person at the front desk of the doctor's office was very nice and was the reason that I got the prescription. The person who I usually talked with at the pharmacy was amazing trying to help me get this resolved. And the person I talked to at the insurance company, she was great too. So even though I was so mad at the machine, and I felt like the bureaucratic machine was evil, I was still so okay, there are good people in this evil machine.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, no, I'm glad it's resolved. It took entirely too long.
So how many pills did you pop this morning? 5?
No, don't
Why
call
not?
it popping pills.
Why not? That you
It makes
should.
me sound like House.
Yeah, you should. You should lean into it. Be like, man, I feel a migraine coming on. I need to go pop some pills.
Oh, and by the way, the kicker. So they changed the classification, right? It's the same manufacturer, it's the same dosage, it's the same drawings on the capsules, and there's no controlled substance sticker on the bottle. I'm like, it's the exact same fucking thing.
Classic.
No, like
Classic,
literally,
yeah, but
some actuary, some bureaucrat chained to their office was like, "Yeah, this is a controlled substance now." Like, fuck you, asshole.
is that your bureaucrat voice?
Well, this is my bureaucrat voice.
This is my favorite voice you've done. You need to lock this away in your brain and remember that this is your bureaucrat voice.
My bureaucrat voice. It sounds like if someone had like a really swollen tongue.
It's kind of similar to your I'm a snake voice.
I'm a sneaky snake.
Yeah, it's kind of like that voice.
Yeah. You know, Mel Blanc, the man with 1,000 voices.
You're calling yourself Mel Blanc? Jeez.
No, I'm saying I have
Calm
1,003.
down. You have a what in where?
I have 1,003 voices. I have
Wow.
3 more than Mel Blanc.
Wow, that's impressive.
I know.
Do you have a voice of your bureaucrat in doing an impersonation of your Nick Cage doing an impersonation of your bureaucrat?
Okay, hang on. Oh, I lost my hand. Okay, I'm getting into Nick Cage.
Uh-huh. Now, imagine
I
Nick
love my
Cage doing the
bureaucrat.
bureaucrat. Right?
I lost my hand. I lost my bride.
Now, right now, it's a little just bureaucrat doing Nick Cage.
Okay, I got
We
more
need
energy.
we need the
I
Nick
lost
Cage.
my hand. I lost my bride.
Pretty good. Pretty good.
Yeah.
I'd say that was a very suitable bureaucrat doing Nick Cage doing bureaucrat.
Al Franken tells the story of when Nick Cage hosts. This is actually this really funny joke. But Steven Seagal had hosted the Saturday Night Live, and it is notoriously the worst episode of Saturday Night Live. It's never been shown in reruns. The ending of the show is just him fighting the cast. He had one skit that ended in just like some like really over the top trite message about protecting the environment. And
yeah, fuck that. Get out of here with your message about him protecting the environment. We don't need that performative. Go drink a matcha latte in public, Steven Seagal. Go read the Communist Manifesto in public, Steven Seagal.
So the next week, or a couple weeks later, they have Nick Cage on. And Nick Cage, during his monologue, is talking about how hot his co-stars were on the movie he was doing. And so they pull him aside and they're like, hey, like, maybe you don't want to talk about, like, your co-stars, but in, like, the SNL monologue. And Nick Cage, this is the premise for my Nick Cage impersonation. Oh, man. Oh, you must think I'm the worst SNL host ever. And Al Franken goes, no, that would be Steven Seagal.
And how did Nick Cage respond to that?
I don't know. That's where the story ends. But every time that I'm trying to get,
want to know.
When I'm trying to get into my Nick Cage, I go, oh man. Oh.
I mean, it's a pretty good verbal stim for Nick Cage. It's a pretty good basis for it.
It's that. Oh.
Yeah, the breathy exasperation. I like it. I'm going to have to resort to that when I'm trying to get into my Nick Cage doing Christopher Walken doing Nick Cage, eating a lollipop.
The other hallmark of Nick Cage, if you were trying to do a Nick Cage or get into Nick Cage mode, is that smile where he's showing all of his teeth, but his lips are like the minimum distance apart from each other.
Yeah.
And he's super confident and happy, and it's so unnerving. Like Lord of War, or he does it in like the vampire movie, not Renfield, the one from like that has the meme from it.
Yeah, you don't say meme.
Yeah. So, Tommy, I actually an audience. I'm trying a lot of new stuff here just to see if anyone likes it. If you don't like it, please go in the Discord and tell us you don't like the bits, okay? But I have a game for you today.
CJ, I haven't even gotten a chance to do my game yet. You said I have a game in the next post show, and you're already introducing another game.
Yeah. Like I said,
I don't even get a turn.
You're going to like this one.
Okay, I'm ready.
So I'm like, Key 3, Cut 5. That's a good one, right? That's a good one. But I want to just be like, I want to see what people like, you know? So if we like give a bunch of space between it, I think it might be harder to collect that data. So I'm going to go and get the list out of my email.
Oh, geez. It's such a sizable list. We're going to be here for 45 minutes, guessing every film in John Wayne's filmography, letter by letter. I'm guessing capital S to start.
Okay. No, you ready?
Yes.
This is 2023 worldwide box office.
Okay.
This is the list.
Okay. CJ has DM'd me a list. Okay.
I'm going to read the list.
All right.
That I just sent you.
Yes.
This is how, and then I'll explain the game, okay?
Yes.
John Wick Chapter 4.
Yes.
The Flash. The Little Mermaid. This was the live action one. Meg 2, The Trench. Indiana Jones, The Dial of Destiny. Dungeons and Dragons, Honor Among Thieves. The Boy and the Heron. The Hunger Games, The Ballad of Songbirds and Snakes. So, here's how the game works. One of these movies is the highest grossing film on this list, okay?
Worldwide.
Okay. It does not mean it was the number one grossing film at the box office, but I've grabbed these 8 films for this year, 2023, and I've organized them by worldwide gross, okay? Your goal is to eliminate one by one each movie except the one you believe to be the highest grossing film. If you ever pick the one that is the highest grossing, the game's over.
Okay. So we're going to see how far I can get.
You get a bonus point. There's 2 points up for grabs. If you eliminate every film except for the highest grossing, and if you tell me which one you believe to be the lowest grossing before you guess. So,
sorry,
as an example,
you repeat that?
So, as an example, if you call your shot and be like, I believe the lowest grossing film is The Boy and the Heron. If it is, you get a bonus point.
Okay.
There's 2 points up for grabs.
So there's the 1 bonus point for calling the lowest grossing, and what's the other bonus point? Sorry,
there's no other bonus point.
Okay.
You get 2 points.
It's 2 points for the one thing?
1 point if you eliminate every other film except for the highest grossing.
Okay.
And then 1 bonus point if you call your shot on what you believe to be the lowest grossing.
Okay. So I like this game. First off, I gotta say, I feel like I should earn more bonus points than 1 for a flawless victory. Anyway, let's start. So I do have my guess for what I think is the highest grossing, but I'm gonna bury that a little bit.
Yes, you don't want to guess the highest grossing.
Right.
You want to eliminate everything else.
Right. So just talking through, there are 8 films here. I've seen 5 of them. I've seen John Wick, The Flash, Dial of Destiny, Dungeons and Dragons, and The Boy and the Heron. All of those but The Flash I did go see in theaters, so I did help contribute to this list in a way. I think, so thinking about the lowest grossing, The Flash was a cataclysmic event upon release because it was a confluence of Ezra Miller being problematic, the DCEU absolutely floundering, the handing of the reins over to James Gunn, there was a lot going on there. Walter Hamada leaving, I believe. A lot contributing towards The Flash being a bomb. So that's a front runner for me. The Little Mermaid is kind of my big question mark on here. I guess my two big question marks on here are The Little Mermaid and The Hunger Games, because I'm not sure how well they exactly did. Now, The Little Mermaid, I know that the newest Snow White was a total bomb. The Little Mermaid, though, like I remember I went and saw, I think Across the Spider-Verse with my bud, and his wife and some of their friends went with to go see The Little Mermaid. So there was definitely some appeal there. I'm gonna Dial of Destiny didn't do. You did a good job of not picking overperformers at the box office here. Let me just say.
Thank you.
I think I'm gonna say, so Dial of Destiny didn't do great. Honor Among Thieves, it did okay. It did not do phenomenally. It did. I think it grossed like 200 mil domestic or so. It didn't do amazing, because I know that there was question marks about sequel. Boy and the Heron, I have no clue how it did, but it is Ghibli. It has such a beloved following, the studio, not the film itself. And I don't know how it did like worldwide. I don't quite know if Ghibli films release in China. I don't think Japan has the largest contribution to box office. Meg 2, I mean, it's a sequel to the Meg, the classic. I do know that Meg does well in China, though. Okay, I'm going to start eliminating. So do I have to eliminate in order from lowest to highest, or do I just have to call my shot before the lowest?
If you're going to guess the lowest, you have to tell me that that's going to be the lowest. Otherwise, you can just pick them off one at a time.
Okay. I'm going to pick off The Boy and the Heron.
Okay.
Because I don't think that there is a shot that is the highest grossing of this list.
All right. The Boy and the Heron was not the highest grossing on this list.
Okay.
The Boy and the Heron was 26 at the worldwide box office that year. It made $282,760,044. And 46 million of that was domestic, and 235 million of that was in international.
Okay, cool.
So some of this it gives you information, right? When you pick some of these off.
So that was what, 280 what total?
282. It was 26 worldwide that year.
Okay, cool. All right. I'm glad to have that off the board. Next up, I'm gonna eliminate Honor Among Thieves. I don't think that was lowest either.
You don't think that was the lowest?
No, I do not.
Okay. Dungeons & Dragons Honor Among Thieves was 39th at the box office.
Okay.
It was the lowest.
No!
It raised $205,460,387 at the box office that year. 93 million of it was domestic, 111 million of it was worldwide.
International,
yeah, sorry.
Damn, I was gonna go with The Flash for lowest, so I'm gonna eliminate The Flash now.
Okay. The Flash is 28th.
Cool.
The Flash made $271,433,313 at the box office.
How many cents?
I don't know.
Oh, fuck.
108 million domestic, 163 million international. By the way, all these numbers are from Box Office Mojo.
Mm-hmm.
So, you have eliminated the bottom three.
Oh, cool. Okay. I'm gonna eliminate next Dial of Destiny because I know that didn't do gangbusters.
Okay. Dial of Destiny was not the highest grossing at the box office that year on this list. It raised $383,963,057. It made 174 million domestic and 209 million international. By the way, just to clarify for you, I'm calling it Azul rules. If you connect them, I will tell you if they are if they're in sequence.
Okay. So you told me that Boy and the Heron was 26th, Dungeon and Dragon was 39, and The Flash was 28.
I'm saying like on the list.
Okay.
But so there's no films between those.
What number overall was Dial of Destiny? You
20th.
Did not say. 20th. Okay.
This is a new game for everybody, ladies and gentlemen.
Okay. So I have Little Mermaid, Meg 2, Hunger Games, and John Wick left.
So what is your thought process here?
Yeah. So I honestly, I think, God, I'm trying to remember if Little Mermaid, because some of these Disney remakes do like $1 billion and it makes no sense. But I don't think The Little Mermaid was one of them. So I'm kind of nervous about Little Mermaid. John Wick Chapter 4, I do think that one was reasonably successful. Not overly successful because of its budget and everything, but I do believe it was reasonably successful, enough to warrant a spin-off. I mean, they were already making like the Continental spin-off, Ballerina. Ballerina was reshot 1 billion times, I'm pretty sure. But there's enough conversation around it, and John Wick is so beloved that like there's enough there that people are talking about potential sequels still.
Mm-hmm.
Little Mermaid, Meg 2, I just know that Meg is huge in China. Like, huge in China. And that makes me want to say that might be the worldwide leader. I just keep kind of going back to that. Hunger Games, I think Hunger Games Ballad of Songbirds and Snakes was like a surprising success. Not that it made a lot of money, but I do think that it did okay. Enough, again, to warrant another sequel. Because there is another one coming out, I think, like this year. And it's such a big franchise. Granted, it was the first in the franchise in a while. I'm gonna eliminate Songbirds and Snakes.
Okay. Songbirds and Snakes was 22nd on the list.
Okay.
It raised 347,628,000. Oh God, what happened? No, we don't want. my screen over here got fucked up. Sorry. $347,628,052. That was 22nd at the box office that year, and it raised 166 million domestic and 181 million internationally. So you have eliminated the bottom 5.
Okay, so the top 3 are John Wick, Little Mermaid, Meg in some trench of this list.
In some combination, yes.
Okay. I don't feel good about doing this. I'm going to eliminate The Little Mermaid.
Okay, final answer.
Final answer.
The Little Mermaid was the highest grossing film in 2023. It made...
Period?
No, on the list.
Oh, I was going to say it beat Oppenheimer and Barbie?
No, 11th on the list. 569,626,289. 298 domestic, 271 international.
Man.
Redemption. Can you place the other two between John Wick and Meg 2? Which one was the second
I'm putting
highest?
Meg 2 above John Wick because Meg, it's got to be doing gangbusters in China. It's got to be.
All right. It was doing gangbusters in China, but that is incorrect. John Wick, second on this list, $447,071,180.
Man, what number was that on the overall?
15th overall at the box office this year. But by the way, of all the movies on this list, you're dead on. The Meg 2 had the highest international gross.
Let's go.
With
Yeah, hit me with
315 million. But
nice.
Meg 2, The Trench, only grossed 398,500,317 at the box office because of a paltry 82 million domestic. Which, by the way, I want to tell you how far down that puts it on the list. For domestic gross, it puts it beneath The Marvels and The Nun 2.
Oh, I mean, cinematic masterpiece right there, The Nun 2.
It also, by the way, it has the highest international gross on this list, but the lowest domestic gross on this list. Which is why it was a perfect option for this list. The final bonus point. Can you tell me the highest grossing film in 2023 by worldwide gross?
By worldwide, okay. So I think of 2023 in cinema. Yep. I think of Barbenheimer.
Yep.
Trying to think about other movies that came out in 2023. I mean, Godzilla, Godzilla -1. Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse was then. Guardians 3 was then. Poor Things did decent, though I don't think that's not. Oh, wait. Is it going to be the Super Mario Brothers movie? It's probably going to be the Super Mario Brothers movie. Okay, hold on. Let me think. Mario definitely broke a bill. Barbie definitely broke a bill. I don't know if Oppenheimer would have broken $1 billion, and I don't know if Oppenheimer would have had the best international. I'm gonna go with the Mario Brothers movie.
Final answer. That is incorrect. It was Barbie.
Fuck.
1.4 billion.
What was Mario at?
Second, 1.3.
I was off by 0.1 billion.
Yeah, I know. But anyway, I thought this was a fun game.
I had a lot of fun. I will just say, when you read the worldwides in the future, I think you can just read the million. You don't need to read it the thousands and hundreds as well. It was too many numbers. I was getting whiplash left and right.
Yeah, there you go. All right, that's good feedback. But there you go.
Good game, though.
All right. Yeah, good game. All right.
Real quick, before we hop into talking about Shrek, speaking of games, the Oscars are coming up, everybody, and it's a bit soon. Like CJ said earlier, we are recording this on the 31st of January, so we don't have it set up yet. But by the time this episode releases, we will have our 2026 Oscars pool set up. Man, have we had so many different game thingies going on, but this is the one to start it all. Our second ever annual Oscar competition. So check the description, fill out your Oscar ballot if you'd like. There might be a prize. And it's similar to last year. If you didn't compete, you're going to have 2 choices for every category. Your big money choice and your little money choice, they earn you different amounts of points. You can go all in on one selection. Like if you're like, oh, frickin' F1, that's going to win Best Picture this year. You can pick it for your big money and little money choice, and you get a bunch of points. Or you can like diversify, put like your big money choice on F1, little money choice on like Bugonia. That way, if Bugonia wins, you hedged your bet a little bit. So go fill it out, and there might be a prize. We'll remind you in the coming episodes, and we will be posting it in Discord as well. So just wanted to put that out there. Check the description for the Oscar ballot pool.
Yes, absolutely. All right. So we are watching. By the way, I am enjoying the games that we're doing. Please, audience, if you do not like these, let us know. I'm having fun putting them together. I mean, I'm so excited to play Tommy's Keep 3 Cut 5.
I've got a surprise for you, CJ.
Oh, I'm so excited.
I've got a game planned for you, but it's not a Keep 3 Cut 5.
Oh, okay. You have a game.
We got another new game coming down the pipeline.
Ooh, all right. All right.
Let me just portend that for a moment.
I'm so excited, and I just can't hide it.
Are you about to lose control?
And I think I like it.
Wait, you didn't answer my question. I asked, are you? Because I was going to say that I think I like that. God damn it. My bit got squandered.
No, your bit. So we're watching Shrek.
Yeah.
Um, can you tell me your relationship with Shrek, Tommy?
Yeah, I've seen this movie a bunch of times. I first saw it in theaters. It's one of my earliest theater going memories. My mom took me, which my mom didn't take me to movies too often growing up. So the handful that I did go see with her typically stick out in my memory. This movie came out. Let me see. I'm pretty sure I was 5. Yeah, I was 5 when this came out. I remember, of course, really enjoying it as every 5-year-old in the early 2000s enjoyed this. I mean, so many fart jokes, and fart jokes are absolute peak. So really enjoyed it then. I have a very specific memory of the movie. It was not a crowded theater. And I just remember near the end, there's like a monkey song playing. And attuned to music at a young age and certain artists, and I was learning about the Beatles at the time. And I remember thinking, oh, this sounds like the Beatles. So I leaned over to my mom and I asked if this was a Beatles song. She goes, no, this is the Monkees, but they're pretty much like the rip-off Beatles. So I always associate that with this movie. But yeah, it's a classic. Shrek is not just like a good movie, but it's, I feel, a monument in our culture of people in our age bracket. This is, whether you like the movie or not, Shrek is impactful. It's everywhere. And I've really just had positive experiences with it along the way. I love the memes. I love Shrek 2. I think Shrek 2 is a phenomenal sequel. Shrek 3, of course, was a bit of a different story. Shrek 4, hey, a little bit of a course correction. But yeah, I love Shrek. I think I last watched it just under 2 years ago with Jade.
Nice.
But yeah, how
Shout
about
out
you,
to
CJ?
Jade. So growing up in my house, there was a Disney bias. And I gotta
Your household? No.
yeah, I gotta say that it was so growing up, it felt like my own experience reaffirmed that Disney was quality, right? That Disney put out the best, everything else wasn't as good. And I grew up in the Disney Renaissance, so they're putting out straight fire. Beauty and the Beast, Lion King, Aladdin, Hunchback, Tarzan, Hercules, right? All those are classics. And like everything else that comes out looks weird, it doesn't look right, which, shout out to Disney for making me think that things that don't look like Disney look wrong. But I'm just like, this isn't right. This doesn't look right. Not perfect. And it's less than. And I remember seeing the trailer for Shrek and being like, who the fuck wants to go see that? And I was a kid, so I probably didn't swear in my own voice, in my inner voice, but I was like, who the fuck wants to go see that? And I remember my sister got it on VHS because there used to be a store called Ames. And she, her and her friends or whatever, went down to Ames, or maybe our dad took us, and we went over to the corner where the VHSs were, and she got Shrek on VHS, and she had a VHS player in her room, and that was cool because the only other one in the house was in the living room. And one night we watched Shrek, and it was the funniest thing I had ever seen, and it completely shattered my held bias that Disney was best. And I even asked her, is this Disney? And she said, no, it's DreamWorks. It's different. It's not the same. And I remember we watched it late at night, and then it was like 11:30 at night when we finished, and then we watched MTV until like 2 in the morning. Like, really a good memory I have with my sister. My sister is 6 years older than me, and we grew up together, and we spent a lot of time together, but she's always going to be 6 years older than me, right? So, like, when what year did that movie come out? 2001? So let's say that the VHS came out, we watched in 2000, late 2001 or 2002. It's 2002, I'm 9 and she's 15. You know what I mean? Like, there's not a lot that you have in common with a 9-year-old when you're 15. You don't have a lot of shared ground. And so, like, we were always kind of at different stages of life. But I remember being like, oh, we're hanging out. I'm cool. We're watching, like I don't know. I don't know if Yo Mama was on. It was like diss rap battles on the roof of a building. We were watching, like, Date My Mom and Next and Room Raiders until, like, 2 or 3 in the morning.
Man,
And it was
what
like,
what a lineup of programming, by the way.
yeah, and by the way, I loved that shit.
Me too. Next and Room Raiders were my crack as a child.
Oh god, yeah, dude. Like, MTV, this is a tangent. MTV programming in the early 2000s, before it went, like, all shit, like Jackass, Viva La Bam, fucking Room Raiders, Next, Date My Mom.
Oh,
Like,
yeah.
I
I was gonna say, was Date My Mom, or was there a second one that was like Parental Override or something like that?
Parental
like
Control or something.
Yes, Parental Control.
Yeah, there was one like that. So next was, they had a bunch of guys on a bus or a bunch of girls on a bus, and you would end the date by saying next, but then that was over. You couldn't, like, go get that girl off the bus. And I remember there was one episode where the guy said next to all 5 girls, and they, like, were in the bus drinking champagne, and he's like, fucking idiot, because he just nexted all the girls.
Yeah, my favorite was always the second someone walked off the bus, the person would next them. And, like, as a child, I'd be like, ooh,
yeah.
burned.
Listen, Pimp My Ride was that era. Like, the programming on MTV at that time was crazy, and there was still TRL. Like, I don't know how the algorithm found out, but it serves me every day. Like, what was the TRL top 10 for this day? And I just can't keep up with modern music. I'm just not that interested, but I know every single song from the top 10 TRL, Total Request Live, for those that don't know, for every single day from, like, 1996 until 2003. Like, if it was in the top 10, I know that song. And so, like, Room Raiders, if you don't know, was a show where they would abduct you, and then, so you had no time to prepare, and then the person who was, like, gonna date you would go through your room and make the decision whether they wanted to date you based on what they found in your room.
Yeah, and it was usually like a couple people who they were rating the rooms of, and then at the end of the episode, the people who had their rooms rated then rated the room of the original raider.
Yeah. And it was like, they're literally watching on a CRT inside of a fucking stripped out U-Haul.
Yeah.
Or like a van. And, like, people, the guys would always have, like, dirty laundry or, like, mold or food. Like, it was gross. It was so gross. It was always, like, and be like, oh my god. And then when the, like, you would get picked, they would, like, pick, it's like, oh my god, you're picking that person? I remember Date My Mom. There was one time where the Date My Mom thing was like, the guy picked the mom who he had the most fun with, and the daughter was like plus size. It was just like a larger woman, still beautiful, but his face just sank, just fucking dropped, and I, as a kid, was dying laughing, like, oh my god, you vain people, you fucking people go on these shows. God, if we ever did a Patreon, like, if we ever got to, like, a certain amount of money per month, I would do like a throwback MTV, like, watch along with you.
My favorite show that we haven't mentioned was Made. Did you ever watch that one?
Oh yeah.
That was my favorite. That was one where like someone like a teenager would be like, my dream is to be a beatboxer or a breakdancer or a cheerleader. And they would have like a pro of that thing come in and boot camp them for like a month or so and totally make over their life. That was always my favorite. I would do a watch along with that.
Yeah. Man, like, God, I'm trying to think, like, and like I said, Jackass and Viva La Bam.
Yeah.
And later, like, Robin Big. Like, before.
Oh, yeah. Classic. Loved Robin Big.
Dude, Robin Big was a moment. Best friend.
I'm hard to love you too, yeah.
When I vaguely remember, like, Robin Big, and then, like, I was at my old house, and I remember the promotions for Robin Big. I'm like, it's gonna be dumb. I tuned in for that first episode, and I went to school the next day, and every single person was watching Robin Big week to week. And I was
I mean,
okay.
it was must-watch TV. You couldn't miss it.
You're saying that. I want people to know. That was a fucking moment, dude.
Yeah.
Like, you had to have watched Robin in a way that we don't have that anymore. You know? Like, we have streaming shows where people, like, kind of watch stuff, kind of don't, but, like, where everybody was watching something, you just don't have that anymore. Anyway, so yeah, one of my favorite memories with my sister is that night we watched Shrek, and I revisited it. I know that people universally love Shrek 2 as like the perfect sequel. I think that you can't have a perfect sequel unless the foundation is really, really solid, and I don't love Shrek 2 more than I love Shrek. So that is my
Well, it's a good thing this is our Shrek episode and not our Shrek 2 episode.
Don't worry. It's on the list. Yeah, so if you don't have anything else, do you want to get started?
Hello? Sorry, I'm doing a lot of humming and but it looks like Discord is cutting it out.
Yeah, I was like awkward silence, like what the fuck?
Yeah, let's get started.
Okay. All right, everybody. If you would like to join us for our companion audio podcast for our Shrek episode, you can go ahead and pause the podcast in a moment. If you don't, just go ahead, do your thing, keep on listening. If you'd like to join us, you can pause the podcast right now.
It's Brimstone. We must be getting close.
Yeah, right. Brimstone.
Man, imagine if this was The Hobbit.
Walk into Mount Doom.
Yeah.
Who do you think is more corruptible by the ring? The One Ring from Lord of the Rings. Shrek or Donkey?
I think Donkey.
Yeah? Why?
I think Shrek has layers. Like onions.
Okay.
That ogres have layers.
Why?
Well, I have a bit
But donkeys have layers too.
Donkeys don't have layers.
Oh, sorry.
Donkeys don't have layers.
Wait a second.
Hello, everybody. We're back.
Welcome.
Have you enjoyed this brief break?
It was... Are you asking me or the audience?
You.
Oh. Wait, hold on. Let's leave space for our audience to respond to. Oh, I'm glad to hear that, audience.
Yeah,
I've
that's
enjoyed the brief break. Yeah. It was nice hearing from the audience for once.
Yeah, they had to really talk loud, though, because we're really far away.
Yes, of course. Of course. Well, I've been good, CJ. How about you?
Less good. I've been watching some movies of questionable quality.
Oh, really?
And been trying to put into words how to talk about them.
I'm so excited. Can we start with Home Sweet Home Alone?
Yes, we'll have to.
Sweet. Okay, so quickly to recap, for those of you just joining us or maybe missed a couple episodes, in October, right?
One of those? October or November?
In October, I think, CJ set out on a quest to only watch media that was freely available. Aside from live sports, CJ wasn't going to deprive himself from that. He would only watch things from services like Freevee or... what were some of the services you used in this time, CJ?
Pluto and
free
YouTube.
on YouTube.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And CJ set out with a goal to watch like 10 films throughout the month, but they were punishments. And those punishments, should CJ, accidentally watch a movie, or I guess not accidentally, but watch a movie that wasn't free, like how he rented Fantastic Four to watch, I and Jade, we got to pick a movie for CJ to watch as punishment. Though there was a deadline on this film, and we picked Killer Bean Forever, which CJ had to watch by the end of December. But CJ did not watch it by the end of December, so we earned 2 additional punishment films for CJ to watch, being Home Sweet Home Alone and the other one we'll get to in a moment. But Home Sweet Home Alone, CJ, let's hear it.
Oh boy. Okay. First of all, can I say the best thing about this movie?
Yeah, sure.
The Buzz cameo.
Buzz was in this?
Yes.
Whoa.
He plays the cop. He's like, oh, this happened to my brother.
Dude, Buzz would grow up to be a cop.
Yeah.
That tracks so hard.
Yeah, and like he goes and he's like, everything okay over here? Right? That was always his performance, not probably the best in the movie by like a country mile. Okay. So, how like the other Home Alones are about like robbery or stealing, right?
Yeah, oftentimes a home invasion.
Yeah. This is like, okay, I feel like this movie is like partially closer to what a kid would actually do. Okay.
Okay.
But like with the soda bottles, right? When he's throwing the soda bottles out the window, or like, what was another stupid thing? With the, like Macaulay Culkin lit people on fire and smacked them with paint cans. He threw flour at people. You know what I mean? Like
he like exposed their skeletons at times.
Yeah, he electrocuted the man, and the man lived. Like the only reason he's not doing a felony murder bid is because the man lived. Okay, so, but like it was like, oh, I'm gonna throw a firecracker Hot Wheels out the window, or I'm gonna hit you with soda bottles. These soda bottles, by the way, are like fucking heat-seeking missiles. Like, I don't know who wrote this bit, but I'm like, you just live in a fantasy world. The idea like these soda bottles were gonna be a gag.
Are you saying the fantasy is that there was any source of potential humor there, or fantasy in that it would have worked?
Like, for the audience, he's dropping them out of like a 3rd-story window. They're dropping down on the bottom flat, getting up, rising up like a rocket, and then like aiming around the swing set to hit people in the face.
They like pop up and pivot and shit before bursting off.
Yeah, they like straight up like heat-seeking missiles. It hits him, and the one guy gets it in the groin like 6 times. His kids are going to be
just
like
as I
SpongeBob.
calculated, says the child.
Yeah. So there's actually a video on YouTube you can watch. It's this scene, like the end of the movie scene, but with health bars. I think that's just all you need to watch, honestly. Nothing else really. Like they want a doll. There's a doll that has its face painted on wrong, and they're like, we want this doll. And so they think that the kid took the doll. The kid's home alone because his parents, because they have 2 cars. Is that the problem? He's in a different car, and I double check to make sure my door is locked like 20 times, which I understand 20 times and double check is not the thing. But like, listen, the idea, like, when I was working at the Hyundai dealer, we had the product specialist come in and told us they were putting these alarms in people's cars so that if you try to leave your kid in the car, there's an alarm that will go off on newer cars. And then after like a year or two, the same trainer came back and was like, okay, now if you set it up right, it'll actually text you. Did you leave something important in your trunk? Or in your, did you leave something important in the back seat? And I'm like, this is the deadbeat alarm. And then someone on the team said, no, it's the Home Alone alarm. Like, you fucking piece of shit. You left your child. I think one of the reasons he doesn't get help is because he's afraid his parents are going to go to prison. Your parents should go to prison. They went to Tokyo without you. They didn't go to the Kmart. They didn't go to they didn't go to the liquor store. They didn't go to the gas station. They, like, until I was like 13, I went everywhere with my parents. I remember the first time they didn't make me go was like, okay, we're gonna go down to the corner store. Keep the house locked, but you can stay home. And I was like 12. Okay? Like, truly home by myself. For them to go, like, down the street. And that was like, whoa. Right? I was like, cool. This kid, they left the country! So, it's preposterous. It was preposterous in the 90s, but it felt like it was predicated on, like, sometimes, as a kid, you do kind of wish your family would disappear. I don't know that that's what kids nowadays want. Like, the kid didn't have the Wi-Fi password. He's like, man, I kind of miss my mom. I don't know how to do shit. Like, at least Kevin McAllister knew how to make macaroni and cheese and do laundry. This kid's
set
like
up Michael Jordan.
Michael Jordan. Yep.
He's jorking his panis.
30 years
Michael
ago.
Jordan cardboard cutout
Yeah.
to dance in the window.
Yeah, like, Kevin McAllister wasn't a kid. Like, he didn't do kid things. Like, he was an adult in a kid's body. Right? Like, he lit people on fire. He electrocuted people. I don't know how I would rig a paint can to swing down and hit people. I've thought about this. How did he actually do it? Because you'd have to throw it, right? For it to get the arc, for it to swing down and hit someone in the head. If you just dropped the can, it's not going to swing down from your staircase. I get the setup. Anyway, the movie doesn't make any fucking sense. And then, to really piss in your Cheerios, they're like, oh, you're home alone? I'm so sorry. You can live with us until your parents come home. What?
Wait, that's the resolution? The bad guys
Yeah.
ask him to live with them?
Yeah. You haven't seen this movie?
No, of course not.
I thought you had said you and Jade watched it.
Home Sweet Home Alone?
Yeah.
No shot we watched this.
Oh my God.
I am watching this final battle with health bars. I've been watching it for the last 4.5 minutes while you've been talking.
It's more like what a kid might do.
Bad.
But it's so bad. It's so bad.
It isn't aided by the fact that there's some really horrendous CGI just inserted into the middle of this at times. Like at one point, he sets up like a big old slingshot with like a bag of flour to launch at Rob Delaney.
And he hits him in the balls, yeah.
Yeah, and when he's pulling it back to like launch it at him launch him in the nuts, it looks atrocious. It looks worse than the visuals of Shrek.
Yeah. Basically, the people invading find out that he didn't steal the doll they're looking for, that he stole a can of soda. And so they were coming to him to get this rare doll. They have to sell their house. So the bad people have to sell their house because they can't afford it anymore. But then I think this is how this works out. I honestly can't remember. They sell the doll, and that allows them to live in the house. And that means that they become neighbors, and then it's like a year later, they're all hanging out together, the two families.
Wow. What
and
an incredible resolution.
Yeah, what a stupid fucking movie. I thought this was shared misery. I thought you guys had seen it.
Oh, of course not. Of course not.
Oh my God.
So what was your favorite trap in this Home Sweet Home Alone?
he lit the firecracker, and that caused the woman's shoes to catch on fire.
Yes, the sparkler. I just saw that.
And she had to put her feet out with the hose, even though she's surrounded by snow.
Yeah. Yeah, she runs up to the side of the shed or something and holds up her feet and turns on the hose outlet plug thing.
The spigot.
Yeah. Even though that's probably frozen in the middle of winter.
Or not on, because you don't leave it on all year round.
It's ridiculous.
Just step in the fucking snow.
Yeah, there's like
that's what Joe
giant
Pesci did.
drifts.
Are you better than Joe Pesci?
Ellie Kemper, never. So, your favorite trap was the sparkler, but where does this movie rank in the hierarchy of all of the Home Alone films?
Okay, so number 2 would be my favorite, if not for an unfortunate cameo. So, Home Alone 1, S tier. Home Alone 2, A tier. I like the ending of Home Alone 2, the shenanigans, better than Home Alone. That scene where he's throwing bricks at them.
Hilarious.
When I was a kid, like, that was the funniest thing I've ever seen in my life. I used to rewind to that part of the movie. I had the VHS in my room. It was so fucking funny. Before YouTube Kids. Anyway, we had then I watched Home Alone 3 when I had like bronchitis when I was a kid. Or maybe I was like a little older. And I was like, what the fuck is this? This is bad. So there's Home Alone 3. I haven't seen any of the Home Alones except Home Sweet Home Alone. But I almost assure you that under 50 feet of shit, that's where you put Home Sweet Home Alone.
Wow.
What the fuck?
Wow. A scathing review.
Awful.
Well, how about the other film you watched?
Okay.
That was your punishment.
I had only one day, because I think I told you the other day I hadn't watched it yet.
Right. We recorded our pre-show and commentary track on the last day of January, so you had to watch it by that day on midnight. Did you accomplish that?
I did.
Okay. Good.
I started watching it and said, I have to take a break. This movie's not long. This movie is
not.
Less than 90 minutes with credits.
Do you want to say the movie real quick?
It's War of the Worlds with Ice Cube.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I like Ice Cube, by the way, a lot. Friday is really fucking funny. Trying to think of something else that I can see. Eva Longoria, she was in Only Murders in the Building, so she was funny in that. The guy who is Phil Coulson.
Yeah, Clark Gregg.
Yep, he's good. And
what
then,
about Roderick?
Roderick?
Yeah.
Am I supposed to know a Roderick?
Roderick from Diary of a Wimpy Kid. He's in that.
Oh,
he's in War of the Worlds.
I've never seen. I don't know who Roderick is or what Diary of a Wimpy Kid is.
Whoa. Okay, so it's one thing to have not seen it. You don't know what Diary of a Wimpy Kid is, like, at all?
I've never heard of this. Is this a show?
It's a book series that was then turned into a series of films. And it's like a huge book, like very popular among elementary school kids. The first one came out in like 2004, but even you didn't have to be in elementary school to see it everywhere because it's a huge series.
I'm not doing a bit. I really have never heard of it.
That's fine. Anyway, Roderick, the actor who plays Roderick, is in War of the Worlds. He's the Amazon guy.
Oh, okay, sure. Okay. So there's a story behind this, right? There's like I believe you were telling me when you saw it, like this movie feels like it was made during COVID.
Yes, it was.
Okay. Why you would release it now? I don't know. This one is more confusing than Home Sweet Home Alone because Home Sweet Home Alone, if you show it to a kid, the kid's gonna like it, right? Like for the most part, the parts that the kids are going to enjoy are the parts the kids are going to enjoy. Those parts are there in the Home Sweet Home Alone. It's really the ending of the movie when the chaos happens, right? And they're going to like it. Like I said, I'm more confused than angry. I don't know who this movie is for.
It's for the producers, baby.
Like, but producers, I believe, generally like making money and also like to continue to be gainfully employed. Because I don't really understand what we're doing.
Well, you know,
So-
speaking of employment, like in relations to the people behind this, one of the main producers, his name is like Timur Bekmambetov.
Is that the guy that did like Abraham Lincoln Vampire
Yes.
Hunter? Okay.
Yes, and he also did like the screen, like the similar movies to this that take place on just computer screens, like Unfriended and Searching. But he actually directed that Chris Pratt film that just came out called Mercy, which is another dude in a chair looking at screens movie.
He directed that?
Yeah.
Okay. There's a lot to unpack here. I'm going to come back for Timur, okay? Is that okay?
Okay. Sure.
I have things to say about Timur and Chris Pratt for that matter. So it is a movie about people looking at screens. I didn't realize that was a genre of film. Maybe Timur fancies himself as an auteur, and this is his contribution to the art form. But you know how like when you were a kid, did you ever like make quote unquote make movies with your friends or
Of course.
videos? Yeah.
Of course.
I mean, there's things that like we did and we were like, oh, this is so cool, and we watched them and they made us laugh. But like we understood the gap, right? Like we understood the gap between what we were doing and what other people were doing. Like there was one. I used to have a flip camera. You ever have a flip camera or see those?
Yes.
I had a
Those
flip
were a
camera.
godsend back in the day.
Those were awesome. You got 30 frames a second. You could do like an hour of video at a time, and it had a USB port built into it. Really awesome. It was super awesome. It was a point and shoot, just camera, do whatever you wanted to do with it. And I remember that me and my friend had this idea for a bit, where we were gonna get into an argument. I was gonna hit him with a stick, and a branch had fallen in my yard, like a really big oak branch, and he was going to go off screen after I hit him and grab this branch and run into frame with the branch at full speed. So the gag is, I hit him with a stick, he comes back with a branch, right? But we didn't have editing capability. And at the time I didn't know anything. So to do it, we set it up so that we were on the side of my house. And I had to run full speed from the driveway where we shot it all the way around the house, because that was the only way that we could get the camera to stop, because I didn't know how to turn it off. So he comes running into frame, and then I have to run around the house, the outside of the house, to stop the recording, right? So in that case, very clear. This is a funny joke that we did. We showed it to all of our friends. They thought it was really funny. But we understood. We're here. Other people, like YouTubers, are up here. People that make movies are up there. I genuinely think a group of high school kids or middle school kids, we were in middle school, a group of middle school kids with access to Zoom, the free version that lets you record 30 minutes at a time, and OBS, could make a movie as compelling as War of the Worlds, and that is not a insult to the children. That is an insult to this movie, because this movie is what the fuck.
Now, I do disagree with that statement, because there's no way those high school kids could afford all of the stock footage used in this movie.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I mean, their dad would have to work at iStock or something, or they'd have to get a subscription to Adobe, right? But like, they just like, there's no way you could be worse, right? And like, this movie was released directly to Amazon, right?
Yes.
So we have no stats on this movie. We have no box office on this movie. And I feel like this is one of the things that I really dislike about this current era of film production, is you don't know. The audience doesn't get to publicly tell you how they think about a movie anymore. I mean, they do with reviews, and more people write reviews, but like, the ultimate vote is your wallet. You can hate something and still go watch it, and they already got your money, right?
Yeah.
But if you choose not to go see something, that's the most powerful thing that you can say. And there are people that probably see this movie, and Ice Cube, funny, pretty good. Ice Cube, I don't know what the budget is for this thing, but a significant portion of it has to be just Ice Cube, right? Why would you do this otherwise?
I don't know. Like, this thing it's an abomination. But I guess when you were watching it and you're seeing it unfold moment to moment, what were your reactions to things? Were you like hooting and hollering? Were you just like sighing and putting your hand to your forehead? Were you popping off in celebration when Ice Cube was like, I watch people, not the weather? You know what? Give me the play-by-play.
Inert is, I guess, how I would describe it.
Emotionally,
Emotionally
it rendered you inert.
Inert. I was like, I work with Zoom every day. I'm on Zoom calls like all month. Like almost every day I have a Zoom call. And I'm like, I'm on a Zoom call. I'm watching a Zoom call. I'm watching a fucking meeting. You know? It would be more compelling if they were all in a boardroom. It'd be more compelling if they were all in a boardroom and that was the only setting. You with this guys facing screens, you don't get any sense of movement or time passing.
See, I think it'd be most compelling if like maybe we had like, you know, a dozen more Ice Cubes and we put them in like a room with a conference table, and maybe they're like debating the innocence of a young man on trial, and maybe they're like all really mad half the time.
That's 12 Angry Men. That
sounds listen. Good. I like that title. Let's run with that.
All right, listen. You saw this one, right? Like you watched this one. Okay.
Oh yeah, I love watching this one.
It's a stinker.
Oh yeah.
It's a whoo doggy.
It's one of the worst films I've ever seen, but in a very enjoyable way.
This movie would have been a direct-to-DVD release that got like talked about on like daytime television 20 years ago. Like Ava Longoria would have been on like Ellen to talk about her upcoming movie War of the Worlds. Ice Cube would have gone on Tyra.
And then you would watch it out of a Walmart $1 DVDs bin 3 years after it came out.
I remember the dollar store by my house started selling DVDs of like, I'm pretty sure some of them.
They're selling DVDs of the films you made with your friends.
Dude,
I'm trying to imagine what movies would be sold at the dollar store.
They were like either films that had no, that were in the public domain, or like weird, like bootlegs, but bootlegs of like Chinese or Indian films. My dad would go there with like a $10 bill and come out feeling like a king. Also, the cases were so thin, they were basically just 3 DVDs stacked on each other. Like, they were so tiny. They were so thin. And like, he would be like, "This is the original Jungle Book." And we'd be watching this grainy, like 1939 production
Yeah.
of this like weird, and it's like inaudible, and just like the sound effects are too loud, and I'm like, why do you want to watch this?
Because
He's
it was
like,
a
a
dollar.
dollar. Yeah.
Yeah. Bobby in the back of the Dollar Tree burns these for me.
It was literally like, there's a scene from The Simpsons where he's like, "Oh, a coupon book. Pizzas 2 for 1 at Doughie's. Doughie's has terrible pizza. Yeah, but 2."
Yeah. 2 for 1. What a deal.
Yeah.
What a deal. It's not a waste of time.
It's awful.
Which I don't think either of these films were a waste of time either, because sounds like you had a good time. But how would you compare the two? Which one of these two did you like better?
Home Sweet Home Alone.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
I
So
did
what
not.
would you-
I did not like enjoy this world. I did not enjoy either of these experiences as films. I'm glad that it's over. Personally, I would probably. I feel like if I had to watch one of them again, I would rewatch Home Sweet Home Alone.
Wow. See, I would rewatch War of the Worlds in a heartbeat.
No.
Not even up against Home Sweet Home Alone, just on its own.
Well, that's you and I are different people. We're different people.
How would you rate these two films out of let's say out of 5, like on a letterboxd rating scale?
Home Sweet Home Alone, I'd probably give like a 1.
Okay.
I'd give no stars to War of the Worlds.
Wow, you wouldn't even give it the half-star minimum rating? You would just say no rating?
You know the only other movie I've ever given 0 stars to? Meet the Feebles.
Wow. That's messed up, to be honest.
Nope. Under the
Yeah,
jail.
it's very messed up. But speaking of letterboxd ratings, CJ, would you like to try your hand at the game that I have prepared for us today?
All right. So, real quick, I just wanted to say we've been doing a lot of games recently. I've been having fun doing them. Audience,
Yeah, it's because you haven't been a contestant yet.
Audience, if you are enjoying these, please let us know. This one is coming out relatively soon, so we'll probably get your feedback on that. I think people responded well to the game we did with Brian in the last episode.
Did they?
You're taking really long breaks this episode. Are you okay?
Yeah.
Okay, there's like long gaps.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Fuck you. Now you have to leave it in.
So the game that I've prepared today, it's a little game I like to call Guess the Okie Dokie Film Based on the Letterboxd Review.
Okay,
So
all right.
I have gone through and picked out about a dozen reviews from Letterboxd from films that we have covered here on The Film is Okie Dokie. So I'm going to read you a review and you have to guess what movie this is from. And I will be keeping score.
Okay.
All right. First one, we have a 4-star review by Alice. We'll never forget Robert Pattinson saying this is his favorite chick flick.
Okay, you had me in the first half there, and now this is his favorite chick flick. What chick flicks did we watch?
I don't know.
I'm thinking out loud. I'm processing. Okay, this is the mark of a good contestant, right? What would be okay? So, well, I guess it could be like something like Heathers or Mean Girls. Okay. Oh, wait, is this a pun?
I don't know. You have to be the one to determine what this reviewer means by that.
I think this is a chicken pun.
Okay?
Chicken run, final answer.
Final answer? That is correct.
Wow.
1 for 1.
Okay.
Next up, we have a 3-star review by Brendan O'Hare.
Okay, so maybe they didn't like it. All right.
Correctly knows that the funniest thing you can do in a movie is have a character have a huge display of emotion, then have a bunch of people scream at them to shut the fuck up.
Let's see. What movie do we tell people to shut the fuck up? Well, Scrooge, I feel like has some emotion in it. Let me think. Am I allowed to have the list of movies in front of me or no?
Sure. I will be a benevolent game host.
Okay. Hey, you can say no. That's fine.
But don't think you'll be so lucky next time.
All right. Hey, that's fine. I'm gonna go ahead and say I want to say this is Coming to America.
That is correct. 2 for 2. Oh, hold on, wait. I'm getting a wire in from the commissioner's office. Oh, I'm sorry. You have to put away the show list. You only got to use it for that question.
I got you.
Commissioner has made an official ruling.
I understand. It's put away.
All right. Third one. We have a 4.5-star review by Patrick Willems. Every other movie should try to be a bit more like Midnight Run.
Okay, now this is fucked up. This is fucked up because we did Midnight Run, right?
We did do Midnight Run.
So
Great
is this
movie.
a Midnight Run review, or is this movie comparing it to Midnight Run?
What do you think?
Oh God, fuck you! I'm gonna go with Midnight Run. I'm gonna lock it in. I'm not gonna overthink it.
You are correct. It was Midnight Run. You are 3 for 3.
Woo!
Next up, 1-star review by Gaslighter. Very bold. Very
You?
bold. What?
What? Go ahead.
No, it's not me. I'm not the gaslighter. Very bold to make a movie about 2 severely autistic men misunderstanding each other for 3 whole hours.
Oh, this is the Batman.
This is the Batman. 4 for 4. Great job so
Let's
far,
go.
CJ. Great job.
Thank you.
All right. Next up, we have a 5-star review by Dreamscape 40.
Okay.
One of my favorites. Heartfelt story with a lovable cast. With an amazing score by Hans Zimmer. And then there's an emoji of a building.
A fucking building?
Yes. I'm unable to discern what type of building it is, but there is an emoji of a building.
You know what's so funny? You could have said anybody and it wouldn't help me. Like, knowing it's Hans Zimmer doesn't narrow this down at all.
Ooh, okay, wait. I have discerned the type of emoji. It is a school emoji.
Oh. School emoji.
One
okay.
of my favorites. Heartfelt story with a lovable cast with an amazing score by Hans Zimmer. School emoji.
All right, this is probably going to
5-star
be
review.
this is going to be my first miss. You ready?
Yes.
I'm going to say it's Gladiator.
Ooh, no, this 5-star review was for Renaissance Man. You are 4 for 5. All
Man,
right.
okay. Hans Zimmer did Renaissance Man?
Of course he did. Of course he did. Next up, we have a review with no rating by Kyle. My dad was watching this at extraordinarily full volume, and not only could you hear it from every room and outside, the house shook each time they punched something. He liked it.
Each time they punch something. Okay. What's a movie that has a lot of punching? Okay. Is this The Bike Riders?
Final answer?
Final answer.
No, this was The Rundown.
Oh god, it was
The
really up between
Rundown.
The Rundown and I was like, Rundown, perfect DVD movie for dad.
It is. Good guess, though. Good guess.
Yeah.
All right, 4 for 6. Next
Yep.
one up. We have a 3-star review by Mike Harding. The review reads, Mumble Mumble, Bang Bang.
Mumble Mumble Bang Bang.
Yes.
Oh, okay. Mumble Mumble.
Mumble, comma, mumble, period. Bang, comma, bang, period.
Okay, so I'm thinking movies we watch with guns. Tombstone, Wild Wild West. What was the rating?
3-star review.
It could be V for Vendetta. It could be The Big Lebowski. It could be The Searchers. I'm going to go ahead and say that it's V for Vendetta. Final answer.
V for Vendetta, final answer. That is not correct. This was True Grit.
They mumble in that movie?
Jeff Bridges.
Okay.
Bang, bang.
All right.
I think that's what they were going after.
All right. Great.
All right. Next up. 4.5-star review by Mike Ginn. All the cultural references in this still work because the worst conservative politicians never die.
What? Can you reread that?
All of the cultural references in this still work because the worst conservative politicians never die.
All right, so it's got to be an older movie because otherwise they wouldn't be like still work. Let's see, older movie. Could be Coming to America.
Mm-hmm.
Could be Scrooge. I don't think that's. The
Oh, wait,
Birdcage.
hold on.
Birdcage.
Oh, okay. Birdcage locking in.
Final answer. Yeah.
That is correct.
Let's go.
You are 5 for 8. Good job so far, CJ.
Thank you. It was slipping
right.
away from me for a minute.
It's okay. You're doing well. Next up, we have a 4-star review by Grand Old Bastard.
Okay.
One of those movies that feel a lot longer than they really are, but in a good way. Do you know what I mean? Does that make sense? Maybe it's because you're so into it that you don't notice the runtime. Definitely check this one out, if you haven't already.
That feels longer than the runtime.
Oh wait, hold on. I'm getting a wire in from the commissioner's office. You are allowed to pull back up the list for this one alone.
Oh, okay. Thank you. Okay, so let me see.
Commissioner is real benevolent right now. Jeez.
I seriously. I guess Glass Onion feels longer than its runtime. Sinners? If it's something like check this one out, either it's obscure because it's older and obscure, or it's new and people haven't checked it out yet.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to say Sinners, final answer.
Ooh, I'm sorry. We were looking for Renaissance Man.
Oh my god.
4-star review. We had a 5-star review and now a 4-star review for Renaissance Man.
Jesus Christ.
Good attempt. All right,
God.
list has to go away.
Yep, that's fine.
All right, next up we have a no-star rating, but there is a heart by Brianna. No one's talking about how this is a pro-eating pussy movie.
That's funny.
Good review.
Renaissance Man. No, that's not my guess. All right.
Yeah, man, Danny DeVito really goes hog wild in that last scene with the woman who he has 30 seconds of on-screen time with and develops a relationship with.
You get to keep these. Coming to America.
Final answer?
Final answer.
Oh, no, I'm sorry. The answer was Sinners.
Oh, that is a very pro-eating pussy movie.
Right? Had to include it. All right. We got just a couple more. We have a 0.5-star review by Evan P. Dunbar. A miserable movie about a miserable person going through a mental breakdown who makes life horrible for his best friend and himself to the point his friend loses all joy and kindness. Absolutely abysmal movie that nobody should watch. I wouldn't recommend this crap to my worst enemy.
Okay. This is the Banshees of Inisherin.
Final answer?
Final answer.
Correct. Banshees of Inisherin.
Wow.
Evan P. Dunbar, not a fan.
I guess not. Movie's really good.
Really good movie.
Yeah.
All right.
Not
Next
to
one
Evan
up.
P. Dunbar.
Not to Evan P. Dunbar. We have a no rating review by Drill Reviews.
Okay.
Look at all these pitiful toads shamelessly seeking validation. Unlike me, seeking validation in a cool, disaffected sort of way.
Toads?
Look at all these pitiful toads shamelessly seeking validation. Unlike me, seeking validation in a cool, disaffected sort of way.
Is this Mean Girls? Final answer?
No, this is Heathers.
Oh,
Heathers. Yeah, close.
yeah.
Very close. Okay, are you ready for our final one?
Yeah, I'm ready. What's my record?
You are at 6 of 12. So with this one, you could cross the threshold into positive territory, which
Okay.
I consider that a win. This is a very hard game.
It is. It really is. I'm surprised I've gotten 6 right.
You're doing great. So, 5-star review for our final review. And this was
Okay.
written by Lou Wang. This is what I mean when I say I like gangster movies.
This is what I mean when I say I like gangster movies. Okay, so was Midnight Run a previous answer?
Yes, it was. Remember, every
Yes.
other movie should try and be a bit more like Midnight Run?
Yes, that's true. The only gangster movie we saw was The Bike Riders.
Hold on. Commissioner chiming in. The list is allowed.
Okay. Gangster. So, I feel like I'm going to get this wrong, but I'm going to say The Bike Riders final answer. Because I genuinely don't know what other gangster movie we did.
Unfortunately, that is wrong. The correct answer was Some Like It Hot.
yes, it is. Yes, it is. There you go.
So
That was fun.
final score, 6 of 13. Great job, CJ. I
Thank you,
think
thank
all
you.
things considered, you did well in a very difficult game that I put together.
Yeah, no, that was a fun one.
Thank you. Well, how about we cut it off with all of our fun in games now and maybe hop into why we're actually here.
Is it Shrek?
Yeah, it's time to get Shrek'd, baby.
All right. So we had both seen Shrek,
Of course.
of course. What are your feelings after watching Shrek again in the year of our Lord 2026?
It's Shrek. I mean, it's still Shrek. It's a solid animated comedy that it does a good job at doing exactly what it sets out to be. It's got a fun sense of humor that was atypical at the time in animated productions of this stature. It still holds up. We were laughing throughout. Yeah, I don't think I have too much to say on a surface level than that. But CJ, how about you?
Yeah, it's Shrek. I mean, it's hard when you say the thing, right? Nothing about it is anything different than when you remember seeing it as a kid. And I think it's aged well. I think it's fair to say it aged pretty well.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think it overstays its welcome at all. And, it really is a small group for most of the movie, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's just really, I mean, yeah, the fairy tale creatures, they're there, but like in the second movie is really when they're more important, and then the rest of the franchise. But this movie keeps it really small. I really appreciate that. It's a small story. Yeah, it's Shrek.
Well, I guess a question I don't remember asking in the pre-show: when was the last time you watched this before this past weekend?
What? Can you repeat that one more time?
When was the last time you watched Shrek before we watched it together?
Oh, I don't know that I've sat down and watched Shrek in 15 years, 20 years.
Wow.
I mean, I've seen clips of it. I've seen parts of it. And maybe I walked in, but I've never sat down and watched it since I was a teenager. I've seen Shrek 2 after that.
Right.
But never the
Wow.
original.
So this was your first time actually revisiting it in a long time.
Yeah. I mean, I think I knew that I really liked it, but I never put it on.
Right. I hear that. So would you consider this your first viewing in your adult life?
That I can remember.
Okay.
Sure.
And something I was going to ask later. I meant to ask you this in the pre-show, but I forgot. But I think now might be a good time. What made you pick Shrek?
So we just watched Moonstruck,
Mm-hmm.
and before that, it was what was the movie we watched before Moonstruck? Game Night. And I was just like, I feel like I could pick something that leads in a general direction, or I could just go completely off the cliff. So I was like, all right, I'm just gonna pick something that I feel like goes in the opposite direction. Still tied relatively loosely by Moonstruck, and actually, while we were watching it, I'm like, no, this movie kind of has a lot of the same beats as Moonstruck, which I thought was funny. No, I really, part of me was like, I want an okie dokie like reset. Because otherwise I feel like I would have picked a movie that was pretty predictable for me. I don't think that you're predictable, but I was just like, let's taste break a little bit, you know?
Okay. Just kind of swerve a little bit while maybe staying in the lane of quality.
Yeah, like we watched Megamind before, and we watched Chicken Run. We've done a few quote unquote kids movies, but that have value for adults, and
yeah, DreamWorks, no less.
Yeah, there you go.
Well, nice. So, I guess you brought this to the table. Would you like to man the helm and steer us through Shrek?
Yes, I will. So, this is Shrek. This is the first movie in the Shrek franchise.
Is that how your summary starts? The first movie in the Shrek franchise. Shrek sets out.
Shut up. So, there are basically 4 or 5 main characters that you need to know. And I will refer to them. I will introduce them. Everyone else, I'm just going to introduce by their fairy tale creature name because you don't really need to know anything else. So there's Mike Myers, who plays Shrek. He affects a Scottish accent for this. There's Eddie Murphy, who plays Donkey.
Wait, that's Eddie Murphy?
Yeah.
What?
All right, stop taking the piss. Cameron Diaz plays the Princess Fiona, and John Lithgow plays Lord Farquaad. So, deep breath. Shrek is reading this story about to the audience about a princess who's locked up in a tower guarded by a dragon, and one day her true love will come in and save her. He then rips that page out of the book, uses it as toilet paper because he's been reading that on the outhouse, and thus begins the story of Shrek. Shrek lives in his swamp. He likes his privacy. Early on, we see that he basically just like a group of angry villagers come to like threaten or otherwise chase or kill Shrek, and he literally does like a joke bit routine, but also scares the shit out of them, and they all leave. But there are a bunch of people in town that are also there because they are selling their fairy tale creatures. That there is this bounty for people selling fairy tale creatures from this land, right? So like the 3 bears are there, Pinocchio is there, and one of the creatures is a talking donkey from this old woman who's trying to sell the donkey, and he accidentally knocks over what I believe is Tinkerbell's cage. He's able to fly, where he meets Shrek, and the soldiers from the kingdom are afraid of Shrek, so they leave Shrek alone. Okay? Donkey starts going back to Shrek's house, which is in the swamp. Shrek doesn't want him there, but he agrees eventually, like, hey, I'll let you stay just for the night. Meanwhile, Lord Farquaad is a little guy. He's the lord of the land, and he is interrogating the gingerbread man. He breaks his legs and crumbles them into dust, and basically gets gingerbread man to admit to start to something, but then they find the magic mirror, Mirror, mirror on the wall. The mirror points out that Lord Farquaad is not a king at the moment because he needs to marry a princess to become a king. So he chooses to go save Princess Fiona, who is locked in a tower, and the magic mirror tries to tell him some more, but he's just over it. And he's like, yeah, okay, whatever. And then he throws Gingerbread Man in the trash. So that night we go back to the swamp. Shrek and Donkey are separate, and Shrek is like inundated by all of the fairy tale creatures who were bought and purchased and then dumped here in the swamp. So Shrek is like, okay, don't get comfortable. I'm going to go get you all out of my house by talking to Lord Farquaad. The creatures cheer for him, even though he's not doing it for them. And he decides to go to Duloc, which is where Lord Farquaad is. That's where his kingdom is or whatever. The only one that knows the way to Duloc is Donkey, so he has to take Donkey along with him. So he gets there, there's like this like night tournament that he wins, and at first it's like, okay, he's just gonna kill you, lol. And then they come to an agreement that Lord Farquaad will banish all the creatures from the swamp. He'll get the deed to his swamp, which is crazy that he doesn't already have it. It'll be restored the way...
Was he squatting?
Yeah, I think that he was already a squatter. Hey, listen, that's not an excuse not to have your legal paperwork in order, Shrek. And he'll give him the deed to the swamp, and in exchange, Shrek has to go rescue Fiona for Lord Farquaad from the tower guarded by the dragon. So, okay. They agree, and Shrek leaves with Donkey to go get the princess. They basically it's a cutscene of just like a montage of just them traveling. It's like basically it's like 3 days away. That's what I've been able to gather from it by the montage and how many days they sleep on the way back from the castle. It's about 3 or 4 days away. So they get there, the dragon attacks them. Shrek was supposed to go deal with the dragon while Donkey found the stairs, except Donkey found the dragon and Shrek found the stairs. Shrek gets launched into the air by the dragon, where he breaks into the tower and finds Fiona, who has basically been waiting for this moment for a really, really long time, and an uncouth ogre shows up instead. So she's like, Sir Knight, you're supposed to whisk me off my feet. And she's like asking for poetry and all this stuff. And he's like not the romantic type. And so finally, she's like, you didn't slay the dragon? He's like, it's on my to-do list. She's like, no, you're supposed to kill the dragon, then come save me. That's what all the other knights did. And all the other knights are fucking dead in this castle. So finally, dragon is like turned on by Donkey, which is really funny. They escape the castle and are basically free from the dragon. The bridge breaks and they get off of this little pedestal that they're on, and he reveals that he's an ogre and he's taking her back to Lord Farquaad. She doesn't want to go, so he carries her for the first leg of the trip. Tommy, have I left anything out so far? Good talk. So then they keep
Oh, sorry, my mic was muted. I was saying I don't think so. I think relatively on track.
Perfect. So they are traveling in the woods, and then basically she's like, we're stopping for the night. And he's like, we're not going to stop. We're just going to keep walking. And she's like, we're stopping for the night. She sleeps in a cave. Yeah, she sleeps in a cave. And the other two sleep out under the stars. Donkey and Shrek have this conversation. They've had a few conversations about how ogres are like onions. Donkey doesn't really get the metaphor. And then they're talking about the stars and
Cosmo's moon.
And they're having this conversation about how people judge Shrek before they get to know Shrek. Except Donkey didn't. And so maybe there's a part of this which is like, hey, people judge Shrek, but Shrek won't let anybody in either. Then, she hears all this. Fiona from the cave overhears Shrek and Donkey. And maybe he's not just this, like, asshole brute that she thought that he was. Then, the next day, she makes him breakfast. They get stopped by a French Robin Hood and his band of merry men.
Monsieur Hood.
Yeah. Monsieur Hood, break it down. Do-do-do-do-do-do-do-do. And then Fiona takes care of all of them by beating the crap out of them. Shrek is impressed that Fiona is not just like some random princess that can't take care of herself. And they start to fall in love, kind of. So there's like a montage of them like falling more and more in love. And they
doing gross shit together.
Yeah. And they are like, oh, well, we're almost at the end of the trip. We better camp here tonight. We're like right next to Duloc because neither of them wants the trip to be over. Shrek doesn't really know how to say how he feels, and Fiona still has to be apart from at night. Donkey goes in to talk to Fiona, and it's revealed that she's been cursed. That by day she'll be one way, and at night another, until she receives true love's first kiss and breaks the spell, which will turn her into true love's form. At night, she turns into an ogre, and during the day, she's her normal princessy self. When Shrek comes back, he plans to confess how he feels. He brought a sunflower, but he overhears basically like who would want to be with an ugly ogre like blank, and he assumes that she's talking about him when she's actually talking about herself, but she swears Donkey to secrecy that Donkey won't tell him. The next day, Shrek basically had gone to get Lord Farquaad, and she doesn't understand why he's suddenly being hostile. She also had planned to tell him that night, but then day broke, so she couldn't show him.
Yeah, she went running out like as the sun was setting. Shrek, Shrek.
Yes. And then basically that's the end of the mission, right? So Shrek doesn't want anything to do with Donkey. Fiona goes with Farquaad. Donkey wanders off into the woods. So then they have like the sad John Cale's version of Hallelujah.
Yeah,
They're
David
sad
plays
about
the
it.
secret chord.
Yeah. Fiona is getting ready for their marriage, which has to happen that night so that nobody sees her turn into an ogre. And then Donkey reunites with Dragon, who's like sad.
Who
and
comes
also,
out of nowhere.
Yeah. Yeah. Deus Ex Machina. And the next day, Donkey goes to the swamp and is like, well, I helped you. This was a 50-50 journey, so I get half the swamp. The two of them get into an argument. Shrek runs away into the
Donkey
shit
builds
house.
a little wall.
He builds a little wall, which is like 4 pieces of wood.
It's the worst wall I've ever seen. I think that's...
What are you talking about? That's a wall. Ain't you ever seen a wall before? Yeah.
Yes, you should recognize a wall when you see it.
Yeah.
I think that's my favorite line in the entire movie. Because it's just the most pathetic excuse for a wall to ever exist.
Donkey lectures Shrek about jumping to conclusions and says that she wasn't talking about him, she was talking about somebody else. She doesn't reveal the secret. The two of them make up. Shrek originally tries this like half-assed apology, and then he's like actually apologizes, says that the two of them are friends, and then they're like, we have to go to Duloc, but they're never gonna make it in time, except they'll ride Dragon. So they get to Duloc, they interrupt the wedding, and basically Farquaad, Fiona's so happy to see him. Farquaad is like, why the fuck are you here? She turns into ogre because it's sunset. He basically announces himself as the king, says that she's going to put her back in the dungeon, and he's going to kill Shrek. Donkey bursts in with Dragon. Dragon eats Farquaad, and the two of them basically reconcile, confess how they feel, say that they love each other. He kisses Fiona, and Fiona turns into an ogre permanently. And he's like, the curse is supposed to be broken. I still don't understand. Why am I still an ogre? And Shrek goes, you look beautiful to me. and then they go to kiss. Shrek blocks out the camera, and then Eddie Murphy sings fucking
I'm a believer, yeah.
as they go on their honeymoon. So that is Shrek.
Nice.
That might be the record for fastest recap.
It's certainly up there. If it's not that, then I don't even know. Maybe like fucking Chicken Run or some shit.
Maybe Chicken Run. Okay, so I think that one of the things that really surprised me is that the visuals actually look pretty good. There are some parts that don't look good.
Yeah.
But this is like early. Like, there's also some parts of Toy Story that I think don't look good.
Oh, I mean, yeah. I totally am in agreement on that. And I think one of the things that Shrek has going for it is that the poor visuals at times come across much more as a stylistic decision than just a flaws of the technology of the time thing. Like, if you look at the kids in Toy Story, they all are like the same exact model, right?
Yeah.
And in Shrek, like, all of the people,
I think they are all literally Andy.
yeah, all of the kids are Andy with different hair. You just swap out the hair pieces like Legos.
Yeah.
Where with Shrek, like, Fiona and Farquaad look really good, and all of the other human characters generally don't look great, though they have such distinct features and exaggerated features at times that it really comes across more as cartoony as opposed to, oh, this is an old movie.
That's true. I would add to that that it's really hard to make humans look right in cartoony CGI. And this was something that we did in a film class. You were talking about Andy, right? In Toy Story. Without describing his clothes, can you tell somebody what Andy looks like?
Big old forehead, gappy teeth, little feet, little hands, sometimes wearing a cowboy hat.
Can't talk about his clothes, you failed.
Oh fuck, wait, that's not glued onto his head? That's not permanent?
No.
His head's not just shaped like that?
But like Sid, right? Sid is just ugly Andy in a black shirt.
Oh shoot, I was kind of describing Sid for most of it.
Well, there you go. Sid doesn't have a cowboy hat.
Oh fuck, he got it removed. He got the surgery.
Oh god. So like, there are like, what I think is really good is that you can describe what Princess Fiona looks like.
Yeah. She's got tiny hands, tiny feet, gappy teeth, cowboy hat.
Yeah, that's right. You nailed it. You can describe what Donkey looks like.
Yeah.
You can describe what Shrek looks like. And like, somebody may be able to like recreate that image in their head. Like, Farquaad's also pretty unique, right?
Yeah.
He's a tiny little guy with a massive fucking head. Like, the fairy tale creature's also pretty well stylized.
Mm-hmm.
We were talking about other animation from this time. When did this come out? 2001?
One. Yes.
Okay, so like, say 99 and 2000, they're working on it.
Yeah. Well, I do want to get more into that. They did start work before 99, but yeah, okay. Your point stands.
So, like, the other movies that were coming out at this time. So, like, people mostly think of, like, Toy Story as being the first one, right? Ants came out in 98. I think that would be, like, the next big feature that came out.
Are you just talking about in terms of, like, 3D animation?
I'm talking, yeah, like, CGI, computer-generated animation. I think Marvin the Martian in 3D was a movie, but maybe that was, like, I think that might have been more 3D. Bug's Life came out. Toy Story 2 had come out. Dinosaur had come out from Disney, not Pixar. And then Shrek. And I'm talking like movies that people would see, right? I'm not talking about, the 3D animated Sinbad movie, right? there's also like the Barbie movie started doing everything in CG at this point. But at that point, it was the second DreamWorks movie that had come out. The other one was all ants. And the ants kind of looked like shit. Okay, Ants was pretty bad. I think Ants is a really ugly movie.
Oh no, I'm gonna have to pivot what I'm doing next time on.
Oh god, no. But like in terms of like the other stuff that had come out, the next Pixar movie that came out after Shrek, and I understand that Shrek's not a Pixar movie, but I'm talking in the context of them being like competitors, right? Because I think at this time there was more of an argument for that. Monsters Inc. comes out later that year. I went and saw it for my birthday that year.
Well, that's a kind of a wild coincidence because Shrek was up for the first ever Best Animated Film category at the Oscars against Monsters Inc., which you went and saw for your birthday, and Jimmy Neutron Boy Genius, which I went and saw for my birthday.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Which one of us do you think saw the better movie on their birthday?
I mean, how can you compete against Jimmy Neutron, Boy Genius?
Yeah.
Shrek and Monsters Inc. don't have an entire series and spin-off with crossover with Fairly Odd Parents, you know?
It's so funny. I knew you were going to say that. But like, I think Monsters Inc. has aged beautifully.
Oh yeah, incredible movie.
But I think part of that is because there's no real human. There's one human in it, you know?
And
like,
she looks like a monster half the time.
Yeah. Like Ice Age.
Yeah.
Ice Age from Blue Sky Studios. There's only like a couple people. The people look like shit. You know, there's a reason that. And I do think that if we went back and looked at, okay, what is the early, like those early Barbie movies, like Barbie of Swan Lake or Barbie and the Dancing Princesses, those look like crap. Do you remember Roly Poly Oly?
Oh, that was like my favorite fucking show.
I
He's
used to really like that show.
roly-poly-oly. He's all around and in the world. Yeah, that was a great one.
Yeah. So, like, it's funny. Like, there's a clear marker for me. Somehow, in 2001, Monsters Inc. looks timeless, and Shrek has some rough edges.
But it does also gel really well with the tone of the movie. Like it's a movie that's embracing like the ugliness of things, and I think that the graphics or I guess the visuals like lean into that in a way, maybe unintentionally.
Mm-hmm.
But you're talking about how humans look in the animation of this time. I did a lot of reading before this post show, mainly because I felt like in terms of analysis on Shrek, I was a bit lacking. So I did a lot of learning about the making of this movie. Okay. And to the note of, people looking good, they put a lot of effort into Fiona. They had like over 100 different sculptures of what she would look like before the final design was chosen. And I'm pretty sure I read somewhere, I'm having a hard time finding it in this moment, but their goal was for Fiona to be the most realistic looking human animated ever at that point.
I definitely agree. Like, she looks great.
Yeah.
As like a normal looking, like supposed to be beautiful princess. And she kind of has like a Cameron Diaz vibe to her. I don't know if it's modeled after her or not, but she kind of looks.
But I hear what you're saying.
Yeah, but she looks like a princess, right?
Yeah.
I think that they originally had intended for this movie to be done exclusively with mocap.
So, yeah, getting into that a little bit. So,
Sorry.
Spielberg, no, you're good. I'm okay with hopping around like this. Spielberg bought the rights to Shrek the book in 91. And his original plan was it was going to be a 2D movie starring Bill Murray as Shrek and Steve Martin as Donkey. So
that's such a different movie.
Isn't it?
Yeah.
So I think it was 95, like DreamWorks came to acquire the rights, and There was like a brief time where they were going to do stop motion, but then, yeah, they were going to do like a 3D live action blend of like live action characters and animated characters. And they were doing it with motion capture. And they did R&D on this setup and everything for like a year and a half before scrapping it.
Really?
But you can actually see some of what this would have looked like in motion, because just 3 years ago, 2.5 years ago, someone who worked on Shrek posted one of the test production clips from the motion capture. So if you go to YouTube and look up like the Shrek I Feel Good test, it's Shrek, a different version of Shrek, albeit running around and dancing to the song I Feel Good. So that's what it would have looked like. But they all kind of agreed that it didn't look that good in practice and decided to retool and go with the actual crafted animation of the movie.
Okay.
Have you seen that I Feel Good thing?
I have not. I feel like
Okay.
I should watch it really quick.
Yeah, watch it real quick right now.
All right, so we're going to get my live reaction here. I'm pulling it up. Okay. A little fuzzy, but... Oh no.
If you're going to watch this at home, I should insert the quickest way to find this is by looking up original Shrek test from 1995 on YouTube. It is posted by the Zoom Art Studio.
Yeah, there is... Don't watch the version I watched, because the one that I saw was very fuzzy. But yeah, no, that's awful. They made the right decision.
Yeah, right? Especially like him dancing at the end, like kind of shuffling up the street. Doesn't look too great.
No.
It's
I would
fluid.
say-
I'll give them that.
Yeah.
But it's
Okay.
a bit uncanny in the movement.
It's, it looks like Shark Tales, and I don't mean that as a compliment.
Damn, you coming after my Shark Tales?
Oh, bro, I hate Shark Tales. We'll talk about that another day.
Maybe
I had
next time on.
I had a
Mm.
friend who had the worst taste in movies, and his favorite movies were Master of Disguise, the Dana Carvey movie,
Turtle.
and Shark Tales.
Turtle. Have you heard the behind the scenes story about the turtle scene and 9/11?
No. No.
So there was a urban legend for a long time that they filmed that turtle scene was filmed like on 9/11, and he was like in the prosthetic and the costume and everything, and they like held a moment of silence on the day of and still filmed that scene. That's not exactly what happened.
Okay.
But it was the first thing that they were filming after 9/11 had happened. And they held a like moment of remembrance while he was dressed in the Turtle Man outfit.
Oh my god. I don't know what to do with that information. I have that information now, and I don't really know how to...
Well, while you process that, I did have a couple other things I wanted to call out with the visuals, just kind of touching back on that. Yeah, just, in general, Shrek, Fiona, Donkey, Farquaad, Dragon, they all look really great. And I think that one of the strengths of the craft of this is you can really tell that they focused their efforts on making sure those characters really, nailed what they were going for. Because it is very much a different movie if these fail on a visual standpoint. And I think like if you watch it or you hop around in it and I don't know, go to a random spot and just kind of stop and look around, like oftentimes when they're in a bigger environment, like, yeah, there's not quite as much detail around them, but the characters themselves are so well done that it just really distracts you from all of that. And some specific spots where like a lot of effort clearly went into, and I read about some of the effort they put into it. The opening sequence, like all of the mud stuff and all of the particle stuff with the water as he's like running around his swamp, looks really phenomenal. Like really strong initial impression off of that. And apparently the effects department like actually took mud showers to observe and study how mud would behave in that and be able to capture that correctly. They also did wait, sorry, what'd you say?
I said,
Yeah. So there was also a lot of effort put into making Donkey look not like a chia pet. They struggled a lot with his fur, and they were able to ultimately like figure out some technology for lighting his fur. And then they went ahead and applied that technology to like grass and beards and moss and eyebrows and anything fuzzy like threading on clothing. So in figuring out Donkey, they were able to brush up the visual, polish everything visually across the rest of the film. And then just a tidbit that I had learned in doing my research before this is Shrek, the movie, has 36 different locations in it, which at the time was a record for an animated film.
Oh, wow. Yeah, that's actually a good point because it's a traveling film, right?
Yeah.
Because they're going from point A to point B. Whereas like Toy Story it does have quite a few scenes, but a lot of it takes place in Sid's bedroom or Andy's bedroom.
Yeah. Yeah. And to
really
your point, right? To your point, like I think you captured really well. Like this is a traveling movie, and having so many different locations, especially in the like interstitial areas as they are physically walking, like all of the different sections of woods or fields that we see them in, really helps sell this idea of this being a grand adventure. Like this, it helps expand the scope of the story while still keeping the story relatively simple.
Yeah, I agree with that.
And then pivoting a little bit from talking about the making of visually and everything, I did want to talk about a bit of the casting behind this. I know that we talked a lot about how Chris Farley, of course. Yeah. And he passed away like when he had almost all of his dialogue recorded. Like they were almost done. Only a few more recording sessions. They wanted Chris Farley's brother to fill in for him, but he declined. So they eventually recasted and convinced Mike Myers to do it. And when Mike Myers got brought on, he insisted on there being like a complete rewrite of the dialogue so that all the traces of Farley's Shrek were gone. And it was, its own thing. And he recorded all of his dialogue. And then in like early 2000, they watched a rough cut of the film. But that dialogue, he wasn't doing the Scottish accent. And after watching the rough cut, he was like, I think we need to redo this and I have to do this Scottish accent. He asked if they could re-record all of his lines with a Scottish accent. And they went ahead and did it. They reanimated like his mouth and reanimated a shit ton. Jeffrey Katzenberger, who's like the founder of DreamWorks and the head of them, he has said that they spent like $4 million on reanimating to once Mike Myers came on. But Mike Myers refutes that, so I'm not sure how much they actually spent. But yeah, a lot of redoing with Mike Myers coming on board. Mm-hmm. Alongside Chris Farley, the original person cast as Fiona was actually Janine Garofalo. And once Farley passed away, though, and they were kind of retooling, she was fired for reasons she never learned. They just dropped her from the project. Robin Williams was originally supposed to have a role, but he went on to he went on to refuse because he and Jeffrey Katzenberger had a falling out. Jeffrey Katzenberg.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
Not Berger. Jeffrey Katzenberg had a falling out at Disney like earlier that decade. I'm assuming around all the Aladdin. Yeah, the advertising stuff.
What I had always heard was that Robin was doing toys at the time, and he said he would do the genie character, but he didn't want to be credited for it. He wanted they couldn't use the genie as X% of the advertising because he didn't want to undercut the film that he had worked really hard on.
Mm.
And they did it anyway.
Right.
So yeah, there you go. That's why we have Dan Castellaneta Genie.
Hey, yeah, he's one of my favorite summons in Kingdom Hearts. So, do you want to guess who the very first person offered the role of Shrek was?
I don't know that I'd have a guess.
Here's a hint. They were recently featured on The Film is Okie Dokie.
Nick Cage?
Uh-huh.
Oh man.
Yeah. He
Fiona! I lost my hand! I lost my bride!
Oh my god, that would have been
Farquaad
perfect.
has his hand! Farquaad has his bride!
Oh, that's so good. Yeah, so he was the first person offered the role, but he turned it down because he didn't want to be drawn as an ogre. And the quote, I wrote the quote down, is quote, "When you're drawn, in a way, it says more about how children are going to see you than anything else. And so I care about that." I would also like to enter into evidence Nick Cage starring in the 2013 animated film The Croods alongside Ryan Reynolds and Emma
Yeah,
Stone.
but he
where
needed
plays
money
a caveman.
then.
Yeah, you're right.
He needed money
could've-
then.
You're
Now
so
he
right.
does everything.
Yes.
I before we get too far away from it, I did want to tell a different Jeffrey Katzenberg story. Depending on who you talk to, who you listen to, what side of history you get, you'll get very different depictions of the man, right? And one of my favorite movies is the Goofy movie, right? Or a Goofy movie, excuse me. And there's this story about how he watched the first cut of a Goofy movie with the voice, right? The guy who does Goofy's voice.
Mhm.
And he said, okay, does it have to be Goofy? And it's like, well, it's a Goofy movie. What do you mean? He's like, well, what if we got Steve Martin to play Goofy? And the animators asked, the writers asked, you want Steve Martin to do the Goofy voice? And they're like, no. He would do his own voice. It would just be Steve Martin. And they were like, okay, before you do that, why don't we go back and ask, I forget the guy who plays Goofy.
Tom Thibodeau.
No.
Oh.
Bill Farmer. So Bill Farmer, they go back to Bill Farmer and they're like, hey, Bill, we just want you to record it in your own voice. And his own voice kind of sounds a little bit like Goofy, like you can kind of hear it because he's been doing it since 1987. And it's like, oh, he had an anxiety attack. It's like, why wouldn't you're gonna go see the Goofy movie, don't you want to hear Goofy?
No.
And
No.
so they had him do a couple of the lines over with just his regular voice. And then they went back to Jeffrey Katzenberg and they're like, hey, just so you know, we don't like this. And he's like, okay, yeah, have him do the Goofy voice.
Wow. I didn't know that.
Yeah, like it could be Steve Martin.
I'm surprised that they didn't try and pass it off as Steve Martin. Hey, actually, we called some favors. We actually got Steve Martin to record a couple lines. Here's what it sounds like. We don't like it, and
Yeah,
then
read it
play
off.
the Bob Farmer, Bill Farmer, Bill Farmer just talking normally.
Yeah. So
Well,
there you go.
wow, I can't wait to hear more about that. Maybe next time on.
Maybe next time. There's a great film, a documentary about the making of a Goofy movie. It came out like 2 years ago. Pretty good.
What's that called?
I don't know.
Weird title for a documentary about the making of a Goofy movie, but
Right.
anyway, the only other tidbit about casting that I had was the first person offered the role of Farquaad was actually Alan Rickman.
That's one of the only ones that I've heard that I'm like, I could see that.
Right?
I could see him like bring like a really quiet intensity to that really tiny man
Yeah.
versus like John Lithgow's booming voice.
Yeah. I think would have been interesting, would have been good, I'm sure. But I am, of course, affectionate towards John Lithgow's performance.
do you have any favorite characters in Shrek? Any favorite? I mean, it's hard to say performances, vocal performances. I feel like Eddie Murphy is really funny. I feel like in a world without Robin Williams and some other factors at play, Eddie Murphy is as funny as Robin Williams.
Yeah, he's really great in this. It's it's such a hard and delicate balance to thread the needle of annoying and actually funny in how annoying they are. Because so many times annoying characters just come across as annoying to the audience as well. And Donkey is annoying, but he's so goddamn hilarious in doing so. In being so.
Yeah. It's a really tight needle to thread, right? Because there's another aspect of this. We have, if you're really gonna break through, and you're really gonna have a moment where the audience is viewing you as your character, we have to forget that you're Eddie Murphy while being over the top and trying to be funny and trying to get laughs and being annoying. We have to forget that you're Eddie Murphy. Mike Myers is doing a voice. You know what I mean?
Mm.
Like it's easy to forget it's Mike Myers. He's doing a character's voice. You know, Cameron Diaz, it's easier, but like you're constantly the joke. That the whole scene where they're walking and he's like, "Can I sing it?" No. Well, can I hum it? Yeah, go ahead. It's like even more annoying than you would have thought. Right? But
Yeah.
at no point does it break for me. Like he is just Donkey, you know.
I think for me, it most comes through whenever he sings. Like I'm like, I hear Eddie Murphy a bit in that. But yeah, it's such a great performance. It's so consistently just devoted to that image of like Donkey he has layers, you know. I think he does undersell himself a little bit. Yeah, he's a parfait.
Donkeys don't really have layers though, remember?
Right. But I do think he was underselling it. I do think that while there is depth to Donkey, the commitment to really pushing him over that edge in the comedic direction, it really pays off in just, I mean, Eddie Murphy is one of the best out there in terms of comedic timing. And it translates so well to his voice acting performance, which is wildly impressive as well, considering that none of the cast like met at all during filming. They filmed everything separate.
And think about who Eddie Murphy is from his SNL time and all the movies he did. And then he has to work clean. And he's fucking hilarious working clean. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, no cursing, no swearing, no adult situations. Just go out there and be Eddie Murphy? Yeah, okay. Yeah, that'll do half a bill. You know? No, it's funny, and it's almost a little hard to really drive too deep into this. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because it is an animated movie, it's a kids movie. I think that the direction we went with it's really good. It was selected to be preserved by the Library of Congress.
Nice.
Which I thought was cool. It's the first animated film of the 21st century to be preserved.
First as in earliest, or the first one that was chosen?
The first one that they chose.
Gotcha. Cool.
Yeah.
Nice. How about any like favorite scenes? You have any moments that really stick with you?
Yeah, the is that your boulder? That's a nice boulder. The wall. I forgot about the wall.
I think
the merry men scene in the woods. I said this when we were watching it. There's this like sense of like this is the one that's gonna defy the expectations of like the sing-songy Disney Renaissance musical. Like when Shrek yells at Donkey to stop singing, and when they interrupt Robin Hood's musical number by Fiona kicking their ass. and the music stops when they break the accordion. Like,
Yeah.
there are some things that happen in here that it's like, hey, it's a little bit of a thumb of the nose, a little bit in the direction of what has come before in mainstream animation for like the last, up at that point, probably 15 years.
Yeah. Very, very much like a counterculture type of film in that way.
And there aren't a lot of examples of kids animation at a high level that aren't musicals.
Yeah. Well, I think especially before this, because
Yeah.
since then, this certainly helped kind of define a formula of constant needle drops and, stuff that really has become the go-to now in kids animation. Like, look at the Despicable Me's, look at like the Mario movie. It's just needle drops left and right and left and right and left and right, which, kids love that.
Yeah, I know this song, or the parents like that. Oh,
Yeah.
this is a fun song.
Yeah,
Right.
exactly.
Yeah, exactly. I completely agree.
Yeah, exactly.
We talked about it in the beginning of the commentary, but I said, is there a song more closely associated with a movie than All Star by Smash Mouth and Shrek? An animated movie.
Well, I think, does Holding Out for a Hero count from Shrek 2?
You think that's more? You think that's well? The actress is singing it herself, so I think that's already a knock. But
Okay. It's not like a non-diegetic.
yeah, like
Like you're
I'm
looking
saying,
for something more like that.
like literally straight from the radio. Like selling the soundtrack for Shrek on TV was like, get the great soundtrack and featuring the #1 single, All Star, and then, hey now, you're an all star, it's your game on, go play.
Yeah, it's certainly hard to beat, which it's, something I wanted to bring up is we almost didn't get that because All-Star was supposed to be just a placeholder originally. It wasn't supposed to be the song actually included in the film.
Oh, I
but
can't imagine.
Right?
Cannot
Test
imagine.
audiences loved it. So, because they loved it so much that they kept it in its spot, also asked Smash Mouth to record I'm a Believer for the end. But the song they were originally going to use was still in the movie. It's in the credits. It's called Stay Home. It was recorded specifically for the film, and it was written to like mimic the feel of All Star. It was trying to be a similar song to All Star, and it pales in comparison to All Star. Really, but when you listen to it, you can hear like, oh yeah, this is definitely trying to do the same thing.
Okay, that's interesting.
Yeah.
No, that's so weird. No,
Right.
I can't imagine that.
Yeah. Well, we could also do our own edit. We could just put it over.
We released the Okie Dokie cut.
Imagine that we recut the films we watch to have improvements of our own design.
Oh God, there are so many movies that I'm like, if you just removed this, the movie's so much better.
Yeah, I'm with you. There have been movies that Jade and I have seen, and we'll walk out of it. I'm like, freaking put it in my Premiere timeline, and I'll have a better edit of that within 90 minutes.
There you go. I have maintained for a long time, if you cut the Hulkbuster fight from Age of Ultron, that movie's so much better.
Because that just sets the bar too high?
No, it's the best scene in the movie for sure, but it fucks with the whole tempo of the movie. It makes way more sense pacing-wise to go from everybody got their head screwed with at the facility to the farm. Having that, like, 30-minute detour or 20-minute detour completely screws with the pacing of the whole movie, and it does create a bar you can't later overcome. Because you can't, that's better than the finale. So
wow.
How it does.
Dare you talk about the dropping of Sokovia like that? How dare you
It's a movie.
Aaron Taylor Johnson put his life on the line for that battle. And here you are.
See it coming.
Going back a little bit, we talked about All-Star in the intro, and I mean the intro, it's so iconic. Like that is up there for favorite scenes for myself, just based on its cultural reverence alone.
Oh yeah.
It's been memed a million times, it's been parodied, but it's just such a perfect, coupled with Shrek reading the storybook for the first 20 seconds, it just makes for such a perfect introduction for not just who Shrek is, but the personality of this film and how much it is flying in the face of typical convention in animation at this time, as we've talked about. Some other great scenes, it's more moments that I love as opposed to scenes, but when they first leave the castle Fiona's like walking around wow, I am in fresh air. Oh my God, you rescued me. And Shrek and Donkey aren't behind her. And she turns around and Donkey slides down the slope behind her and hits a rock and flips. And then Shrek just comes careening in, sliding half sideways. And that just really got me. It's such a short moment, but his movement is so visceral and so impactful for that just brief second. So I really loved that. And then, of course, the brawl when he goes and meets Farquaad for the first time. That needle drop
bad
is,
reputation.
iconic. Absolutely iconic.
Really
of course,
good.
also the Duloc is a perfect place song as well.
That's probably my favorite scene as a whole.
Yeah.
When they get
Let's do it again.
Let's do it again.
Yes, so
No.
good.
No.
Oh, so great. Okay, important question that we brought up early on in our viewing.
Okay.
Is Donkey, Duncan, or Edison?
Now, have you confirmed this with Jade?
So I did talk to Jade. I want to talk a bit about our conversation after I hear your input.
Okay. Judging solely on body. Real quick. This is a game that they play where you have to guess.
It's not guessing. It's not guessing.
No, the person has to guess. You know, but I have to guess because I don't know, right? I have an educated guess. How about that? You have to come up with an educated guess on what dog Donkey is between Duncan and Edison. I've met them for a weekend, so I have some time together, and I've done this game so much, I know a lot of the rules. Right? One of them is more bitey than the others. One of them is very play motivated. One of them is lizard. One of them is otter. Right? One of them is bird. One of them is center fielder. One of them is catcher. Right?
Rugby player. This is a very real thing CJ is describing.
Yeah, exactly.
I will say though, when we were just recently at AGDQ, Nervy absolutely crushed this game. He had no clue how to play at the start of the week, and his batting average was higher than yours at the end of the week. He really figured it out.
Yeah, well.
It was very impressive.
In the early stages of the week, I was getting by just saying the opposite of what Nervy said. Okay, so listen. I feel like anatomically, the anatomy of Donkey, I don't feel like he's a fat ass. I feel like he's kind of a scrawny donkey. So, part of me instinctively wants to say Duncan. Then I'm like, which one is the more annoying dog? And I'm going to use annoying as my thing. And from my experience, Ed was more, when I was there, was more activated, and Duncan was really just play with me and I'm good. But I also had a dog who was very play motivated for a long time. So that doesn't bother me. I can just throw the ball and you'll be good. Cool. But Edison, from your descriptions, is like the cuddly, lovely one, and Duncan is kind of like the I put my heart underneath this chair that I know that I can't get under, or I know I can get under it and I just don't want to. I want you to come get it so that you'll throw it again, or something like that. Or it gets in the air jail. Do you still have the airlock?
Yeah, of course.
Okay. So it gets in the airlock, and then you have to go get it out of the airlock, or whatever. It gets under the table. So for all those reasons and more, because scrawny and annoying, I'm going to say that Donkey is Duncan, and I have worked on this for a little while now, and I don't care if I get it wrong.
Okay. I appreciate your passion and, really thinking through your answer. Also, quick side note, glossary term for the listener. By airlock, that is what we refer to as the gated areas around our front door and back door. We put up gates around them so the dogs can't dart out if someone opens the door, because Duncan would dart. So those are the airlocks. So back to your guess, as you referred to it. I conferred with Jade after I watched Shrek with you and asked her, because when we first watched this movie together, Jade and myself, we watched this pretty early on in us first dating. And when we watched it then, she hadn't been around the dogs enough for us to have really developed this system of, is this thing Duncan, is this thing Ed? But now that we have it so thoroughly figured out, I asked her, and she and I actually were in a bit of disagreement over it, which doesn't happen often.
No, it does not. You usually, without talking to each other, both know the answer.
Yeah. So I think that physically, Donkey reminds me a lot of Edison. After all, Donkey's movements are based on dogs and rabbits. And we have, one of the things you said, like one of them is lizards, one is otters. Edison is rabbits. We see a rabbit when we're out like driving or out in a yard, and we go, oh, look, an Edison. It's to that point.
This is the level of insanity. He's Patrick Bateman from fucking American Psycho. he without skipping a beat, without batting an eye. Oh yeah, this Edison is rabbits. Go ahead.
So I feel, though, spiritually and mentally, Donkey is more Duncan. I think that, you called out Duncan struggling with, like, if maybe he puts a toy under things. First off, you were spot on. Duncan loves to shove toys under dressers and couches and then just sit there and bark. Edison will iron will it and throw herself against the problem until it's solved. She is very one-track minded.
Edison, body be damned. Oh, yeah. With reckless abandon.
Yes.
That dog's going places.
We often say Edison's mantra is head empty, heart full.
Yes.
So, Donkey, going back to Duncan's inability and struggle with, like, chairs or something, Donkey having a hard time with turnstiles reminded me of him. But I think the big thing is Duncan and Donkey both wear their emotions on their sleeve. And
Donkeys
especially
don't really have sleeve, Shrek.
yeah, you're right. But like Donkey being scared on the footbridge over the lava, incredibly Duncan, because Duncan actually is afraid of footbridges, and really any bridge that he can partially see through, like a wood plank walking bridge, he will not do. So I felt a lot Duncan, though Jade thought otherwise. And you know what? She hasn't recorded this, but how about we cut to a quick expert insert of Jade voicing why she believes Edison is Donkey, or Donkey is Edison.
All right. Play the theme. Play the music.
Okay.
Hi, yes, thank you for that wonderful intro. So Donkey is definitely more Edison than Duncan because, like Donkey, Edison has a very stocky frame. So just the overall frame of Donkey is a lot more like Edison. Just the general attitude on life, Edison is just a lot more positive than Duncan, similar to Donkey. Not calling her dumb, but I would say the amount of brain cells in Donkey are probably a similar amount to Edison. And then more specifically, Donkey is Edison because they both are incredibly persistent while simultaneously being very easily distracted. So that is why Donkey is more Edison than Duncan. Thanks. Bye. Okay.
Well, that was some great expert testimony.
Yes. Thank you, Jade, as always, for popping in.
Yes, thank you, Jade, for popping in.
So we can consider this one a wash, CJ, on whether or not you got Donkey correct.
Okay. Nervy, at the end of the week, you had broken the man. He was going insane. You were like, every day, you would ask him something, and it would be like, well, I don't know. Is Duncan pheasants and Edison is rivers? Like, I don't fucking know. Like, it gets to that point where you're like, it's just
We were
like,
looking
what the
at like
fuck?
art. We were at the Warhol Museum, right?
Yeah,
And we
yeah,
were looking
yeah.
at paintings.
And it's like, this Campbell soup can, that's Duncan. That one, that's Edison. What the fuck?
Oh,
And then literally,
my gosh.
he'll walk right up to a painting and be like, that's so Edison.
I ain't denying any of it.
The most important question, Tommy, which we have not asked.
Yes.
Second most important question.
This was part 2 in our duology
No.
of what?
No.
Oh, which one? Could you have done it?
Yeah.
Oh, sure. CJ, could you have done a Shrek?
Well, who am I? Am I
You
Shrek?
know, this is tough. I'm going to say you're Shrek.
No, I can't do it.
No, okay. Where's the
There's
fail
too much
point?
gross shit.
So you fail in the opening.
Oh, yeah. I couldn't do the opening.
Oh, that's great.
I have a hard time using porta potties. I don't know how I would do with an outhouse.
Fair enough.
So, yeah, could not do Shrek.
Fair enough. How about this question, though? This was part 2 in our duology on 2 people who are supposed to get married and then don't get married. That was with Moonstruck, of course. So which
Right.
one did 2 people who are supposed to get married and then don't get married better?
Moonstruck.
Yeah, I think I'm with you. It's just so much more central to the plot of that
Yeah.
story.
Yeah, like that is what happens in Moonstruck, and this is more like a thing that's going on.
Yeah, it's more of just an event in the overall story as opposed to being something the story revolves around.
Yeah, I get behind that.
All right, well, how about this? Another question we are asking every time. What genre was this? This is,
Okay.
again, tallying for our end of year recap.
This is going to really impact everything. Okay?
Yes.
Is animation its own genre?
That is a great question. And I'm going to refer to the form real quick.
Yeah. If we put animation on there, it has to have
Yes.
animation. Okay. So
Animation is listed. So for sure, animation.
All right. I feel like we should really try to stay with 2 genre per film.
I agree, but I also think that I do think it could be case by case because here, like animation, yes. Comedy,
It is a comedy, but it's also a fantasy.
but it's also a satire.
I think if we were going to do 3, it should be animation, fantasy, comedy.
I'm with you.
I feel like animation does not take up a slot.
Yeah, I'm with you. You can't fault a movie in picking genres for it just because of the form factor of the film.
I would agree.
Okay, so are we going to put... So for Moonstruck, we put romance above comedy. Are we going to make a distinction between like comedy above fantasy or vice versa?
I feel like there's a proper order for nouns and adjectives. I feel like I don't think it can be comedy fantasy. It has to be fantasy comedy.
I will make sure it is denoted as such in Tominio's ledger. He's already in the room, by the way. He spent the entire time this time standing in the corner staring at me.
With the vacuum?
No, the vacuum's behind me right now. He was actually kind of off to my right, kind of in the far corner of the room where I could see him in my peripheral the whole time.
Mm-hmm.
So animation, fantasy, comedy. I like that. Because like, while it is satirical at times, I don't think it's a straight up satire like we could consider something else to be.
No, yeah, I agree. I feel like if we have a satire, we'll really know it.
Yeah.
Like Spaceballs, right?
Or Meet the Feebles.
Okay. Yeah. Is the film okie dokie?
I would have to say, yeah. I think it's a pretty okie dokie movie. How about you,
It's a pretty
CJ?
okie dokie movie. I would say big thumbs up.
Big thumbs
Love
up.
Shrek.
Big thumbs up.
This
All right.
might be one of the few movies that actually gets its part 2 on in the future.
Maybe.
Yeah. Like, I could definitely see that being something that happens. I don't know that we'll ever do... I don't know that there's a lot of other films that meet that criteria. But, yeah.
Die Hard 2? Chicken Run 2?
I would probably put a different Die Hard movie in the hopper before I pick Die Hard 2.
Okay. I have not seen... Oh, no. I've seen the newest 2 sequels, I think.
So
Some
Die
like
Hard, Die Hard on a Plane,
Not
Die
seen.
Hard in Harlem,
Not seen.
and then Die Hard Cyber Terrorist,
I did see that one.
and then Die Hard Russia.
That
was the last sequel,
Live.
Oh.
Which one's that? That's not Live Free or Die Hard. A Good Day
That's
to Die
a
Hard.
Good Day to Die Hard, yeah.
I think I saw. Oh yeah, Jai Courtney's in this one. I did see this one.
Yeah.
Okay.
Do you want to go first on our way to the rec room?
Yeah. You mean I walk in front of you?
Yes, and then you would go first.
Okay, yeah. I'm not going to speed off ahead of you like Brian Otto did. That was
Yeah,
really
yeah.
rude. Really rude guess, to be honest.
You know, it's okay. Listen, I know this is a little unsanitary and a little uncouth, but I hope you don't mind. I'm getting a new mattress, so I'm storing the old one in here until they can come pick it up.
Why is it so yellow? Did it come like that?
So I don't know why. I think it has to do something with the fact that it had all this cooling gel on it. You know, how it has like the cooling gel so that you stay cool in the night.
Oh, that's
and
a good one.
And
I'm going to make
melted.
sure to say that next time I piss my pants.
It just, damn, killed my bit. All right, yeah. So just don't worry about the mattress. They're gonna come soon.
Gross. Oh my God.
They're gonna
That's
arrive
what the
soon.
that's what the people who sign up for the rec room outside of the hours we use do. Oh, geez. I'm never sitting down in here again.
Just not on the mattress, which is going to the dumpster.
Oh, so hold on. The one thing that's not going to be soaked in cum is going to go to the dumpster?
There's nothing soaked in cum.
Okay, lightly dampened by.
There's nothing lightly dampened by.
All right, I'll drop it. All right.
Jesus.
The rec room.
All right. What do you have?
I just got a couple. I got 2 small things to rec. First is a movie. We watched The Secret Agent, which is one of the nominees for Best Picture and Best International Film. It is a Brazilian film about a dude who in 1977 is kind of at odds with the corrupt forces in Brazil. and I think that's probably the best way to put it. Really good. Definitely one that, as it sat with me, I've appreciated it more. The from a production standpoint alone, beautiful film. The sets and costuming is incredible. The cinematography is amazing. The coloring is fantastic. It pops off the screen. Really, and it feels like a film that was filmed in 1977 in many ways. But just a really resonant story about this guy and the stuff that he's going through and the way that its setting adds a lot to the subtext and messaging of the film. I'm trying to be just generally vague because I do think it's best to go in blind. Jade and I were confused as hell for like the first hour of it before we realized what was actually going on. But really good movie. Really did like that. So that was the first thing to recommend. And then the second thing to recommend, been a bit of a light week in terms of watching things. So I just want to recommend a song that has been in mine and Jade's head constantly for like the last week. I want to recommend the song Where Is My Husband by Ray. It's a pop song that just came out a few months ago, but kind of stylized like, kind of like almost like the Dreamgirls era of music. Like just very... a lot of showmanship, and just really great song, really catchy, very playful and fun with its lyrics. So yeah, that's all I've got this week. CJ, how about you?
I'm only going to recommend The Pit. Pit Season 2 is back. Watch The Pit. It's a great medical drama. It is about ER center, trauma center in Pittsburgh. And it is really, really good. It stars Noah Wyle, who a lot of people know from ER. And other than that, a pretty relatively unknown cast. And it's a really, really good ensemble. Noah Wyle said this about the show. Everybody, because they only use 2 cameras, everybody has to be ready to be a background actor who is doing something important that nobody cares about, and also be the most important person in the scene at any given time. And so, really good show. Really recommend it. Season 2 is up to episode 5 as of the time that we're recording this. By the time the episode comes out, episode 7 will be out. So
nice.
Episodes come out weekly on HBO. Highly recommend it, and I am metaphorically banging the table for people to watch it.
Very excited for us to get a chance to watch it. I know that we've said this to you, CJ, but we are on the final available seasons of 3 of the shows we are watching. So as soon as we wrap up with these shows, The Pit is at the top of our list. So we're very excited to chat with you about it.
Yeah, no, I'm very, very excited.
Well, sweet. Well, how about we now, I guess just to recap again, the CJ wrecked The Pit, specifically with season 2 airing. I recommended the film The Secret Agent and also the song Where Is My Husband by Ray. So next time, CJ, you ready to find out what we're watching next time on The Film is Okie Dokie?
I sure am.
All right. Well, I don't know if you know this, but Shrek was actually part 1 of a duology here on the series.
Oh, do tell.
It was part 1 of our duology on protagonists clashing with local government officials.
Oh, God. Okay.
Yeah, because next time on The Film is Okie Dokie, we are watching Megalopolis.
I don't know what that is.
Awesome. Well, I can't wait to tell you about it and chat and watch it next time on The Film is Okie Dokie. Thank you, everybody, for listening. CJ, could you please take it from here?
All right, everybody. Thank you so much for listening to The Film is...
said that.
I got to do my whole spiel.
Ugh.
If you like the podcast, rate us, review us, give us 5 stars. If you only give us 4 stars, I'm inclined to believe that you are a hater. Shout out to Bomani Jones at Wave for the quip. I learned it is no longer Wave Sports and Entertainment. Tell your friends, tell your neighbors friends and their kids, you may need to just download it directly to their devices because they have little fingers. They have a hard time working the buttons. In fact, don't just share it with your friends. Just install Spotify on their phone, get them up for the free trial, and download all episodes of the podcast. It really helps. As always, I have been CJ.
I've been Tommy.
And this has been The Film is Okie Dokie. Get out of me, swamp!
Oh, I was gonna do that one.